Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wargaming.net League North America. I'm James, the Rockstar Grief, joined alongside by Randall Rukill Holcomb.
Good evening.
Today is match day 11, our only Saturday show of the entire season, but it should be a good one.
Absolutely. We've got 4 matches lined up for you tonight, but before we get into any of that, let's check out some highlights from earlier this week. And looking at the standings, Apex leads the way by more than 10 points, sitting at 29. Second place is Eclipse at 17, and right behind them are Dare, Aquatic M60s, and Top Tier, all tied for 3rd, 4th, and 5th place in 6th. 07 is starting to fall behind and is on 12 points, but that leaves it open for Valence and Rival to still come back, keep themselves in the league this season.
That brings us to tonight, where we will have Rival versus Dare, 07 versus Apex. On broadcast, off broadcast will be Aquatic M60s versus Eclipse, and Valence versus Top Tiers. As usual, we'll try to bring you guys updates from those matches as we can throughout the night. We know you all care about your favorite fantasy players on those teams.
We know a lot of people are probably picking players from Aquatic M60s versus Eclipse tonight. That's supposed to be a closer match, so we'll have to... Absolutely, we'll be bringing picks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, brings us to fantasy. Make sure you guys check out the fantasy website at wgl.gg/fantasy WGLNA. Get in there, pick your best starting 7, compete against myself, Randall, the SL staff, the Wargaming staff, the Gold League players, and just everyone in the community for a chance at a Type 59 as well as a lot of gold. It's a good time.
Absolutely. And tell us all about it on Twitter and Facebook at WGLNA, hashtag WGLNA. On Twitter and Facebook.com/WGLNA. Tell us all about it, and also tell us your thoughts on the question of the day. Today's question of the day is, which World of Tanks map would you like to see added to the WGLNA? Give us your thoughts. Is it Abbey? Do you want to see that one back? Maybe, I don't know, Port? I
think personally, there's 2 maps that come to mind, Ensk and Pearl River. Now, Ensk would take a little bit of a balancing because of the train tracks, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that could be done, and Pearl River was one of those maps that is taken out of the game. I'd love to see it back in some iteration, and with a pack defense format on it, it could be a good time.
Oh, man. There's all sorts of options out there. Tell us your thoughts. We'll even look for some funny ones out there, but World of Tanks maps, tell us which ones. Now, let's get to this match. We're going to be talking about Rival and Dare. We're going to start with the Rival lineup. Knight's been putting up amazing points. I'm always holding on to see Commander J perform. Zakum in a heavy tank. Who are you watching?
Definitely. Knight, since getting onto Rival in general, has started every single match. He's had some incredibly clutch plays. I don't want to put the pressure on him, but I think he is the biggest bright spot that Rival have right now.
Absolutely. And then we'll look at Dare. Dare Rising, after picking up their sponsor, have been having a rough time, but My Little Putin, Master Putin, those are the 2 players I'm always watching to put up good numbers. They're consistent, and their averages are solid. So you look at those 2, My Little Putin has been growing as a caller, and you can see that improvement reflected in the performance of Dare. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, but of note, Dare right now are 1 for 4 out of their last 4 match days. So they're definitely, in the bit of a slump, I guess you could say.
It's about keeping morale right now, isn't it? It's about staying focused, not losing hope, because the thing is, as Dare, you're still doing quite well in the standings, are you not? The tie there for 3rd place is at 16 points.
But speaking of that 3rd place tie, something that other people have to look at is the schedule going forward. This is essentially a must-win for Dare because after tonight, they have Eclipse, Valence, Aquatic M60s, and Apex for their last 4 matches of the season.
Which can get tricky. Okay, I see what you're getting at there. Now, before we get too much into that, let's look at the map lineup. I want to check a little bit of that out. Let's talk about this and how this will impact the match. So the maps tonight are going to be Murovanka, Prohorovka, Ruinberg, Mines, and then again, tiebreaker tonight for every match is Murovanka.
Now, this map selection definitely made me raise an eyebrow when I saw it. There's only one map in here that Dare have above a 50% win rate on the season right now.
What map is that?
Murovanka.
Oh.
Everything else right now, or actually, I got that wrong. That is
what about Mines?
Ruinberg is the only one where they're about 50%. Murovanka is actually one of their worst maps right now.
And then ending this one on Mines, how do you think that goes, Dare and Rival?
That's one of the few bright spots that Rival have on the season, provided it's only on defense. Their offense is pretty abysmal. Dare, though, have really been struggling on it. They got countered out by Top Tier the other day very hard in a spectacular fashion.
Yeah.
But so Dare, this map pool, if anything, just based upon the map pool, regardless of the teams, if you look at raw stats, I think this is actually a map pool that is relatively balanced between Rival being down in last place and struggling, and Dare definitely struggling as well. This is a very even map pool just for that sort of setup, I think.
Yeah, well, the thing about Dare is it's a roster that I've seen around with the same players before, but they also were bringing MLP and having him start calling more, right? So they're in a place where they're trying to grow. And so you're going to run into some of those struggles, especially at this high of a skill level. Apex is super dominant right now, so anyone who goes up against them is going to probably have a rough time.
Yeah, well,
Being able to put up any few amount of wins seems to me it seems to me that it has more to do with play style in some ways as to whether or not you'll pick a win up here or there. Because if you're the kind of team that runs hard counters or something, that's the example.
Yeah.
Then you're going to pick up a win or two against Apex, but you're not going to win the series, right? Not right now.
I agree with that to a certain extent. But the other thing to look at, though, is how Dare have been playing overall recently. And with Rival do their homework and Dare can't get any sort of momentum going and they're a little bit slow on their rotations, I don't think it really matters what type of style or how they set up they run with. I think Dare will just be, or Rival will just be on them too quickly.
Possibly, but we'll have to see how these two teams stack up today. And let's hear from the teams themselves as we have the representatives ready to join us on the face-off. Executus, it's been a long time, sir. Welcome back to the broadcast. And Aggressor, I like your sweater.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
Hopefully this time you guys can hear me too instead of just talking and nothing.
Oh, I can hear you
We
just
hear you
fine.
just fine.
Oh, yeah, you coming in loud and clear. I'm going to start with Rival. Rival, where's your team at right now? Give me the breakdown.
Right now we're in the lobby getting ready to play this match. That's what we're going to be doing every match. Try to get some wins. We don't have a lot. Well, obviously don't have any. So just showing up, try to compete. I mean, obviously it's not in our hands really anymore. We just try to make good shows of the rest of what we can.
Is that a lot of the mentality with the rest of the team? You guys are just kind of like, you know what? It's been rough, but we're still here, so yeah. Like, is that how everyone else feels?
Obviously, I'm not in everybody's head, but I hope that's how they feel.
Well, I was just from maybe conversations and stuff. Rivals in a good mood, or where are you guys morale-wise? I guess.
It's hard to really gauge some people, because
Okay.
back it up and keep going.
I feel you on that one. Thank you so much, Executus.
No, especially when you have someone like Zakum in the lineup, very reserved person. So I definitely could see that to a certain extent.
He says like 4 words a day.
Yeah. Now, Aggressor, looking over at you, when I looked at the map pool today, it kind of raised an eyebrow because there's only one map in there where you guys have above a 50% win rate on it. How do you feel about the map pool tonight?
I mean, they're more my style. I'm not really a fan of city maps. I like the open maps because calling really shows on open maps.
Okay. Fair enough. And then we also skipped over the question of the day.
Oh, yeah, let's get right to that. Okay, so Aggressor, before we jump away from you, what map in World of Tanks do you want added to the WGLNA? Any map?
I think Ensk was a really fun map back when I played it like 2 years ago, and I want to see that back in the game.
I like that one. That's a good choice right there. All right. And then Executus, this is your chance. Just one map. It can even be like Port.
That's actually what I was going to say. I was going to say Port.
I'm sorry, I spoiled it. Okay, so the 2 solid choices for maps to be in the league are there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Port, I could definitely agree with the new physics for sure. With those bridges, that would be rather interesting to watch at some points.
Yeah. All right. So, final thoughts, Executus. Is Rival going to be able to pick up some wins today?
I hope so.
Okay.
It gets rough sometimes, so I hope we get some.
You're so polite about it. I was hoping for feistiness. You're just so
Can't be
huggable.
feisty when you're not doing too well.
Okay, I guess that's a point. Well, Aggressor, how's Dare doing? I know you guys are coming off some losses.
I mean, we get over it. hopefully we can have a better display tonight. We'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Face-Off. We will see you on the battlefield.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Aggressor's so chill. In the sweater, he was just like, he just seemed like he was ready to sit down, take his shoes off, then like walk around in some imaginary world in a children's TV show.
Yeah, I can see that. He's ready to go. You know, you wouldn't know that he's about to jump into a game and just go blow up a lot of tanks. He's just kind of sitting back, just relaxing, may have some classical music on in the background.
That's about the vibe I was getting from him. And then Executus, I love how he wears his headset because it's like it's got such big earpieces, and then
yeah, it's hard to gain perspective on actual size of things via just.
I've just always loved because I've noticed the consistency. Yeah. We never get to see Executus. I'm glad we got to see him on a face-off at once this season. So glad to have him back. Now let's jump straight back into talking about maps. So we saw Murrow, Proc, Ruinberg, Mines. Aggressor says he likes open maps. I like open maps. I know that Dare has performed okay on some of the open maps that they've had. Ghost Town, Ruinberg, and Steps are some solid choices for them, but. Actually, Murrovanka is actually one that they're not doing so hot on, right?
Yep. And to be fair, neither are rival. They have less than a 20% win rate on Murrovanka.
Well, compare that then with the Murrow stats for Dare. It's 42%.
But that's far fewer amount of games, though.
This is a good point, actually. So overall, I think we can give the edge to Dare in this one, but maybe hold on and wait to see if Rival pulls something out. Because the thing about Rival, right, is they're the ones that have always done the kind of hold my beer tactics. They choose that on Proc, for example. There's an old strategy they used to play where they would just go up and over, you know? And when they would go up and over, you know, it was just kind of weird. Oh, I'm just going to jump off real quick. Make sure you're a spectator tank right there so we can get started. And then we'll get right to this one. But when you look at Murrow, that one, I think we can give the edge to Dare. Prohorovka, Dare. If Rival pulls out the crazy strats, though, defense or attack, it doesn't matter. They've done some strategies like that throw you off, especially if you depend a lot on a grand opening move, so to say.
Yeah, and the thing is Rival have kind of shied away from that kind of as they've lost their confidence. They're a lot less willing to go for those out-and-out engagements, and so we haven't really seen them. And then what we tend to see is we see these not as well thought out, aggressive plays late in the game that are already read and predicted. They kind of don't have that same element of surprise they used to have, which is why the reason I think a lot of those older plays used to work was because they had that element of surprise. They could get up in their opponent's face without any warning and do them. And they're trying to do that same thing, but they're totally lacking just that element of surprise and with it.
Yeah. Well, we're ready for battle number 1. Let's get straight to it.
Murrovanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
Here we go with the lineups. Rival and IS-7, 4 bat chats, a TVP, and an RU-251 of note from Rival. Jay Smooth was on the face-off. He is also not here in this game. He's been starting a lot recently, so we'll have to see if that helps or hurts Rival in any way. Meanwhile, Dare, 215B, 5 bat chats, and an RU-251.
All right, so opening moves here on Murrow. We'll be watching to see what's going on with those as teams are loading in right now. And, well, Rox, with a bat chat lineup like this, it's probably going to be a lot of flexing east side, west side. I'm expecting our attackers might go southeast side.
Well, and with Dare attacking, they brought the 215B. What do you think they're going for? It's not really the greatest. I mean, it's a decent hold-down tank, but on this sort of map with these hills, it's not the greatest at working ridges with gun depression, just because it's a rear-mounted turret.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit of trouble. I think Zakum's going to have a nice time today in his IS-7. He is absolutely an excellent heavy tank player, and if he can play the hold down on the west side, because the opening aggression, actually, take a look at this from our blue team Dare. Dare is just moving. Look at him. You got Aggressor, Bird, Nationwide, and Master Putin, who got a bad jump at the open, but...
Now, I will say this, looking at the position, that 215B, it's a sniping tank, and it also has those Hess shells as an option, which should work decently against the Batchats. So putting him up here on the high ground will allow him to shoot down into the town along the 5 line and also along the ridge on the 3-4 line. So try to shut down that side of the map while these tanks take control of the cap.
And you can see that firing line of 3 Batchats from Dare just getting in position, and they understand the fire's coming in, but be prepared. Although I don't necessarily know if I agree with this second move from Dare. A lot of everyone just kind of breaking off, deciding let's go south, attack.
Well, Bird Fungus goes down, and now Milo Putin's coming in, finds some shots on tonight. Zakum's in the high ground, exposed to these Batchats, so if they quickly get in position, they could take him down.
And they probably will be able to. I don't think Dare was expecting quite so few tanks to be directly south of them, and so without enough targets to engage, I think there's a bit of split focus from members of Dare, giving Rival a chance to get some damage out, as Executus and Master Putin fall incredibly low now.
Yep, 215B getting some good amount of damage in there. Milo Putin does lose his gunner, so he'll have trouble hitting some of those shots at range.
Not that one.
Cap is looking decent right now. Dare manages to pull this one back despite starting off down on HP.
They've got way more guns in the game right now too, and that's going to work out really well for Dare later on in this one. I'm thinking with 4 tanks alive for Rival, it's only a matter of time. They just won't be able to put out the same volume of fire as their opponent. Although Tesla, an unknown one, moving in on Master Putin on the reload, that might be a pickup they could work with. And actually, that's going to be a known one goes down for Master Putin.
Yep, Tesla does find a shot onto My Little Putin. They're going to trade. Looks like Milo Putin should come out the better here in a second.
Yeah,
Tesla gets one shot.
And
she's reloading now, and now Milo Putin's going to get the track shot. Oh. He has one last shot, but Durzel's going to pick it up from downtown.
Dirty kill stealer. And now Zakum, that heavy tank, is left all alone.
I don't even want to call that a kill stealer, though, because Milo Putin missed that shot from point blank.
Oh, yeah.
If he can't pick that up...
He lost his right to the kill.
He lost his right to the kill right then and there at that range.
Yeah. You bounce, dibs is all off.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, I like what I saw out of
Oh, look
Dare.
at Durzel's damage in that post-game stats.
I was questioning that. That's over 12 shots. Whew.
He just got to pump out damage.
That's got to be some Hess shells put in there.
Oh yeah, that's why you bring.
PvPs.
That's why you would bring a British tank, right? That's why you'd bring like an Action X or an FV. Is I can bring some Hess shells, and against Batchats.
More often than not, the Hess shells are largely ineffective unless you're shooting at TVPs and Batchats. Which, guess what? Rival brought a whole metric boatload of them.
Yeah, Batchats are super popular in the current meta. So the thing is, British tanks actually otherwise aren't super viable. As a stronger pick, there are usually better options. But when you're running against French tanks, if you have Hesh or even high penetrating HE on some of the old, like maybe some Russian tanks, you can kind of get away with it. Loading HE can be worth it. It's just knowing when to load HE. And with an FV215B, you actually reload rather quickly. And
about a 7-second reload.
Exactly, and that's pretty swift for the amount of damage that you get to deal. And with that
400 alpha, and then the Hess shells, I believe, is 500 or 540?
You're going to hit for 500 and change.
Yeah.
With a Hess shell, most of the time it's 500 and change. If you don't hit for about 500, it's probably because, well...
you didn't pen.
You just didn't pen.
Well, they're called Hess shells. You have to remember they are high explosive shells at the very start, so they still have to penetrate to get the full damage roll out of them. Otherwise, they just do minor damage, and doing 100 or 200 damage isn't really worth it. So you have to make sure those shots pen.
Yeah. Although usually, if you're going to do 1-200, you've tracked them or something.
Yeah.
Usually, something worth it has come out of it.
Durzel, one of the players that normally plays a lot of tank destroyers for Dare Rising, playing the 215B, putting up 4,100 damage, 65 fantasy points, went 12 for 12 for 12. Only one non-pen in there, and I believe that was probably from a Hess shell. Looking at it, Zakum, been one of the main heavy tank players for Rival since he stepped into the starting lineup. Got shut down, but not necessarily his fault, just because of the position he was in. I'm assuming he went down because mostly of Durzel, who was able to get some shots onto his lower plate. Yep. Knight, who I talked about beforehand, also getting shut down pretty hard there, but that's because he was playing one separated position from everyone else, and he was the first tank that Dare saw and just said, let's go kill him. And they just drove over and they killed him while the guns from Rival struggled to get in position for cover fire.
Yeah, I was concerned actually based on the opening move from Dare last battle. Or not the opening move, the second move that they went for after taking any fire. I was worried that Dare was a little bit antsy, but overall, after the way they were able to handle the battle last time, I'm thinking Dare should have a pretty solid defense they're about to play. I mean, look at this lineup, Rox.
Yeah, well, a much more conventional lineup. 2 heavy tanks in the Kronwagen and E5, 3 Batchats, a TVP, and an AMX 1390. Rival, an IS-7, 4 bat jets, an STRV 103B, and a RU-251.
And this S-Tank, I love it. I just don't want to see it destroyed like it has been the past few times I've seen it played on this map. S-Tank has not been performing well on Moreau.
In certain situations, it performs great. We saw Mr. Man have one great game on here versus, I want to say it was Dare, actually.
He played incredibly well, but then we saw just the other day an S-Tank
I want to go out as far to say as Mr. Man is the most consistent S-Tank player on the server. He's had some insane clutch moments in that tank so far.
I would believe it, definitely with the on the server bit, because he's, how many battles? He's
not necessarily on the server, but as far as in the WGLNA right now. On the server, there are some players that would definitely contend with him. Pompous, Dodoma, Canadian Impact, they all come to mind. They all have fantastic numbers if you look at their personal profiles as far as S-Tank numbers. But in terms of league play, how teams have been able to use it into their strats, and the numbers it's been able to put up, I'm relatively sure that Mr. Man has some of the best numbers right now.
I wouldn't doubt it. And right now, just to kind of jump off that, Mr. Man plays the S-Tank, so does Knight. Knight opened up with some passive play, using the binoculars and camo net he's got equipped on his S-Tank to see if he can get some early spotting, but nothing from Dare peeked up. And so he's decided now to drive into the red line, where I'm trying to figure out what he's going for.
He's just making sure he doesn't get spotted, and what he can do right here is he can actually cover, if we pan around, he can cover Zach Koom on this back corner, and he won't be able to get spotted from that range once he's in siege mode. And I'm going to take a guess that he's running a camo net as well.
He is, in fact, running a camo net, and I've been watching his POV. He was actually checking his own angle in the low ground, checking to make sure that the angle of his, his hole was just right, that from each side he got to check it out, even showed us a little of that lens flare. Usual S-Tank stuff. And I guess my only question now is with, now 2 minutes have passed, what's Rival going to try and do as the attacker? Because they're attacking, remember. And where are their bat chats? That's going to probably be the big deal. Because, there we go. All right. You know what, Rox? Let's take a listen in with Rival. I want to see what they're up to, see what they're thinking.
I'm safe from Dick Bush now. I'm gonna go dark, and then I'll poke towards Dick Bush again.
I'm not getting anything in here.
You want the STRV to start moving?
I just poked. He's not Dick Bush area. It could be like F or H line area.
Yeah, if you want to go
Along here?
to 2-cap Knight and do the shuffle, maybe.
I don't think the shuffle will help, but...
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, but if you want to start heading that way, if we're going to get that quit out, then...
Yeah, the next step is to get in close, so we should get our guys up on the 4 line and ready or somewhere.
Probably pull our IS-7 back.
Alright, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in the line on H line bushes.
Okay.
Still somebody you win.
So can we do that? Bat chats, can you get closer? Because the next thing is that I have to press into the next building.
We should move the 7 first.
Alright, we're moving.
What do we want to 7?
You just want me all the way out? Yeah. Let's move him in, like...
Do you want to creep down into here, or...?
I would say in here, honestly. Keep him back. That's okay. That's what I mean by all the way up.
Okay, can we get our bats up, though? Because otherwise we're going to burn 2 minutes just waiting for this rotation.
We need to move, so...
It's gotta be on the closer side.
6 minutes. Okay, I got lit. Yeah,
you
he's
got lit
in,
way back there?
Yeah, he's somewhere in here.
Okay.
I got wood in here.
Alright, so watch that row. I'm going for it.
He's in there, and he's in the Dick Bush.
They have 3 tanks ready. They
Are you able to
fired
poke
4
up here
shots.
without getting lit, Fleck?
I think
Right,
he
I
might
just
be in the
poked, got
one in front of me.
Yeah, he probably is. I got lit behind that house back here. So he's somewhere to your left.
Yeah, he's in there. I just got lit here poking lit.
Can we get him out then?
Well, would sending the RU to the building spot him, or?
No, because he's in this line up here. So I need these bat chats up here to peek and only expose themselves to some of these bushes. Narrow it down.
That is not my forte. I think they're wrapping to our north.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I got him.
All right, nice.
Nice.
Well, shell bounced off him. That was the clearest indication of where he was I've ever seen.
Yeah, I poked, checked again.
Oh, right.
And that is how you blind fire and figure out where a tank is sitting.
Yeah, I'm really glad we have the lasers for that. That was nice. But that's going to do it for the 1390 Chase Potato, as Knight's going to have to now back off. And actually, oh, this is something we haven't seen before. Have we seen an S-Tank actually get into the south and try and go for the east side cap?
Yes, 07. Let
07?
How
did that work last time?
On Murrow, I can't remember. I know that they've done it successfully multiple times on steps, capping that north cap, and it's not working this time because Knight spotted going down 1,200. One more shot, and he will go down. Not coming in yet, though. There it goes. MacTap picks up the kill on Knight, and now Rival are down a tank, evening the score at 6-6.
All right. I think that hurts a little bit more for Rival, though, because the S-Tank represents probably...
Well, it's a tier 10 for a tier 8, and that's also a lot more HP they lost.
And it's a damage dealer, the primary damage dealer, as opposed to the passive scout. Even if that
well, in this
1390 had been a
situation,
bat
they were both passive tanks essentially, because that S tank was trying to get onto cap. So
yeah,
they lost the cap pressure and passive eyes on the cap. So it kind of neutralizes each other, but definitely hurts Rival more because they're the ones attacking. They have to make the push right now.
Exactly. So Bad Chat's moving up. Unknown One's taking damage, trying to leapfrog.
1,200, 1,400, and he gets completely deleted with Durgil picking up the kill.
Can't have paid the toll. Can't afford.
Remember, we haven't even mentioned this today. This map has a 70% win rate for the defensive side. It is the most one-sided map that we have in the league right now.
Yep. Teams just are able to put up solid defenses, where in the past, we have noticed that teams were able to defend better. It could have been the addition of the S-Tank and the Kronwagen.
That's what I was about to ask about, the Kronwagen. How big of play do you think that has into the map and how this plays out?
I think it has a huge impact, and I think a lot of it is psychological. I don't think that the Kronwagen changed things too drastically from the times of a T110 or... let's not list all the examples, but we'll start with the T110 because it's here on screen. T110 was a great example of a hold-down tank. And yeah, the Kronwagen is a little stronger in hold-down and has amazing gun depression, but I think it's scarier in people's heads than it is on the battlefield. I've noticed Kronwagens put up good damage, but they're not revolutionary. It's not like we've completely changed the game in that sense.
Yep. And right now, speaking of the Kronwagen and the E5 are just going to drive straight towards the cap. They're going to make sure they clear the cap, that there's no cap pressure, and they're just going to have tanks away in the north where they can't get killed. So even if these heavy tanks do go down here, they're going to make sure they don't get capped and nothing can happen. A minute 30 left. Commander J is the next one to be found, and they're just going to drive straight at him, try to take him down.
And don't know what they're going to be able to get done. Rival at this point is completely stalled out. There's not a lot of momentum here. And I feel like Dare could just kind of waltz in and get this done, couldn't they? And I think that's just about what we're
just going to push in here. He's going to get the kill shot on to the Commander J. Executus is going to be the next one to take some damage. 315. MacTap looking for some sauce. MacTap taking a lot more damage in return, though. Durgil is down his ammo rack, but at this point, Rival down 4,000 HP. This is not looking good for them.
No, it's not. And try as they might, Rival's going to start losing it one by one. Solid play by Dare, solid hold, and just to clean this one up in the last 45 seconds. That'll increase our average time on the map. And look at that, actually, Master Putin's going to go down. I think that's Executus down there in the south. And Aggressor's just about reloaded in time to maybe pick up the kill. And he does. Good shot. Now Flak. Scouts left.
Ram comes in here from Milo Putin trying to get what damage he can for all those people that picked him on Fantasy, and he's even going to try to simp for Burton. I can't tell if he was trying to simp for him or he was trying
Oh,
to
he was
block
sipping him.
I think he was trying to block some
deliberate.
damage.
That was deliberate, man.
Yeah.
He was like, no. Kronvagans aren't allowed to have higher average damage. This is going to go to the Bat Chat. Bat Chat, stay on top.
Well, I think this, instead of the Bat Chat, I think this goes to My Little Putin just wanting some more fantasy points for all you out there.
No, he didn't get that last shot, did he?
No, he didn't, but I think he was trying to block Burden from getting off another shot, so he
Well,
could
it was
have
so
time
that
to
his
reload.
battle buddy, the Bat Chat, could get someone else.
Either way, I think when it comes down to it, I think My Little Putin just wanted the damage. But
I think we can agree on that one. He just didn't get it, though.
yeah, and look at this blind fire. Look at all these different angles they're looking for. They're waiting to see if they get a hit, and then the first hit comes in right there off of Chase Potato, and they go, oh, he's right there. We just saw his shell bounce. It changed directions. It didn't go through. So we know for sure he's here. And then all the guns, or at least Executus and Commander J, both sit there and they fire shots, and also the RU down in the south.
Yeah.
And that's how you clear bushes. Now, the thing is there are so many bushes on this map that you have to check. It's quite a challenge to get it done in the 10-minute timer that these teams have.
If you actually map out all the bush positions that someone can sit passive, there is actually a way to do it in about a minute, where you can clear every bush in a way that no one could ever get out or change positions without you being able to get a shot on target.
And that comes down to teams practicing, putting in the time, studying everything, and having that sort of game plan. And that's to attack this cap in the open. That's what you have to do. And a lot of teams haven't been able to master it because, once again, look at the win rate. It's 70% towards the defense. It's a lot. And look at the damage here. Mactep, 3,400 damage and 2 kills, 54 fantasy points. Aggressor, one of the highest damage dealers in the league, 3,100, 2 kills, 74 fantasy points. Not bad stuff there. Zakum doing what he can in that IS-7. 2,600 is not bad in an IS-7 at all. Only getting 37 fantasy points, though. On the second page, Commander J used to be one of the best fantasy picks for Rival. Always was a superstar when he stepped into this lineup for the first season. Last season, he struggled a good bit. And this season, he's just been a shadow of his former self so far.
Well, yeah, I think that has to do a lot with the team cohesion, their general play level right now. Rival is unquestionably struggling right now in the Gold League. Amongst a team that might be in the Silver League, they'd probably fare much, much better. But it's a huge step up to this level, and someone has to be the worst.
Well, and look at all the competition that we have in this league. We were talking earlier in the show about the standings. You have Eclipse on 17 points. Then you have, I believe it is, Top Tier, Dare, and M60s all on 16 points.
Yep.
That's a 1-point gap between 4 different teams competing for that second place spot. So, I feel bad for Rival almost, but it's just such a competitive league right now.
Exactly. It's really, really tight. Now, let's get ready for battle number 3.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
Rival coming in here with an IS-7, 3 Batchats, 2 140s, and an RU-251. Dare, an IS-7, 4 Batchats, a S-Tank with Aggressor, and then the RU-251.
Oh, is it a trap? I think it's a trap. Please let it be a trap. Look at Commander J, Executus, and Tesla in the bushes. And then Unknown Flag. I don't know if this is an up and over into the east side, or if this is going to be hold my beer. Watch this. Whichever it is, I'll take it.
They're just going to go up and over towards the 8-9 line.
That was a actually well-executed crossover. No one's taken any damage, and normally that would actually result in a little damage being traded. So
they were all together, and I think what they're trying to do here is they think that Dare is split, that they have guns on both sides, and I think what they're trying to do is leave these 140s and IS-7 here to shut down the 6th line, maybe get some shots towards the S-Tank and the Batchat.
I think it's very deliberate routing is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and then swing the Batchats around. Tesla does get lit, but I think she's about to find Durgil. She does. As Executus comes around too, they're going to trade shots, but Durgil's ultimately going to go down because there's no way he wins this. Commander J is going to have shots towards the Batchats in the north. They're going to have to run. Durgil's about to go down, and Aggressor looks like he's trying to leave as well.
Nice shot by Commander J. Although that's actually going to allow Rival to quickly in the first...
Well, and this is exactly what I thought it was. They left the 140s with the IS-7. IS-7's up behind the buildings. they're going to sit there and cover him, make sure that they don't get pushed on. Bat Jets are going to sweep around and take the 6th line, and they're going to be able to isolate Aggressor because once he gets lit, the 140 sitting on that middle ridge will have clear shots on him.
Yeah, my only question is how's Rival planning on dealing with the Bat Chat rotation from the southwest and that crossfire that's going to come into Zakum?
Well, they just have to make sure they make this play quickly. So right around the time that these Bat Chats get in alongside these 140s, their Bat Chats are going to be reloaded, and they're going to be able to dump onto Aggressor and in turn get My Little Putin. So they just have to do it quickly and not stop, because if these Bat Chats are given time to work, they're going to chip away at these tanks on the middle ridge.
Yep, and there's Zakum bouncing a few shells already. Unknown One looks like he's going to be moving in on that Bat Chat from My Little Putin. Begins the engagement.
And now look at this. The tanks are going up and over. They're going for it. Rival are going to come around. They're going to focus out Aggressor. He's going to get off what damage he can. Tanks go into the side. 1,200. They take him down. And now they're going to take out My Little Putin as well.
And that's Nationwide flexing in with Bird, and Rivals in a small lead, 7,000 to 6,600 hit points.
Flax going to try to get a shot onto Bird and Fungus, but bounces. Zakum takes the damage for 435, 815. Another I-7, 1,200.
Nationwide's got one more and he gets it. He gets the kill. And that's good for Dare. That could let them hold on in this battle right now, as they are outside of their own cap zones. They don't have control. Rival is going to be able to exert their own control over the caps, and they should be starting cap pressure soon, unless they plan on keeping it rolling, if they want to keep the attack on. If they do that, maybe they can get the kills, maybe they can clean this one up.
And look at this. Burden is on the south end, while the Bat Jets are on the north end. If they spot these Bat Jets out, they could dump over and get Burden Fungus down for free, and Commander J sees it. He's going to come over the ridge, and Burden Fungus is about to go down for free.
Absolutely. Sloppy play there from Darren. Rival's going to take advantage of that, not wasting a second. This looks like they might have just woken up. And finally, it's like Rivals playing a little bit more like what we've come to expect from their
Chase
past.
Potato does get spotted. The RU.
He took a little fire crossing in the south. That was one shell from Flak.
Knight's going to come flush him out. He's going to have cover from Commander J.
And right now, actually, notice that the Bat Chats, Nationwide, and Master Putin are grouped up, but they have only 3 shots apiece. And with Commander J now on reload, he's out of shells. He's probably going to go down. There he goes. And will Nationwide and Master Putin have enough to take on Tesla?
Nationwide's taking a lot of damage. 1,100 goes into him. Tesla's out of shots, though. Knight tries to put one in, misses. Chase Potatoes close the distance as well.
2 bounces, and Tesla's still alive. And Nationwide's about to go down.
Knight might pick up the kill on Nationwide here. He's going to go over. He's going to eat the shot. Flak's going to come in there, try to hit the RU. MacTap is reloading, so he goes for the ram, trying to help out Chase Potato. And this is really close because MacTap's about 10 seconds away from coming off the clip. They have to kill Chase Potato now, and then they need to get some shots in to MacTap. He's going to come over. Once he's reloaded, he could certainly do this. They are 2 consistent fire tanks, though, so they're going to put shots into him. He's going to get the kill shot right now. Now it's a 1v1. He's going to come over. Gets one shot. Can he land this next shot?
I don't think he's going to be able to.
And MacTap cleans it up. And that's going to be 3-0 in favor of Dare Rising.
That was quick. Okay. For a moment there, it looked like Rival had every reason to win it. And then it didn't happen.
And then it was gone.
Yep. And we're done here. Okay. I don't know what to say about that. That was in Rival's hands. They had it.
This is something we haven't seen out of Rival a lot this season. This was creative. This was doing their homework, understanding what the other team was going to do, executing it with a quick manner. That you could tell that there was a deliberate game plan that it was well thought out. They went over here.
Fumbling it at the end.
Exactly. They got Durgel down. Great play right here. Then they realized Burden Fungus was by himself on the south. Bashos were reloading. They kept the pressure on. They went for it and they got him down. But it was from that point where they started to kind of fluff their lines a little bit.
Yeah. And that's kind of seems to be the theme with Rival. If you ever see them perform very well early on, don't doubt that that's a good play. Because I think we can all agree that their openers have been successful in many, many ways. It's just the way that they finish the battle that seems to be the problem. They don't seem to be able to find the answer, or there's something that kind of distracts them. If you get the gist, like
they kind of lose focus.
That would be the greatest way to put it. Yeah, they lose focus, and then all of a sudden it turns around on them when they absolutely have the win. And the thing is, it has a lot to do with experience, has a lot to do with the team's cohesion, which is a little bit rocky. And I don't say that in an especially dramatic way. I say that in the way that they've been losing battles. It's a little hard to feel like you're in a good place when you've been losing, because you don't feel like whatever answers you've put up or whatever solutions to problems have come up have really, you get me.
And something to note, this is they have 4 matches after tonight left in the season. So if they want to have any chance at avoiding relegation, they really need points tonight.
Yeah, they really, really do. So
now, it's still mathematically possible for another couple of matches, especially with Valence on 8 points, and that also depends on Valence's score tonight as they play top tier.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of things that are going to come in. This is a place you don't want to be if you're rival. You do not want to be dependent upon results of other games. You want to have your own control of your own destiny, and that's something that rival just don't have at this point.
Just play to win at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
You just play to win. And if you can, great. If someone else loses and that helps you out, fantastic, even better. But no one can lose and help out Rival right now, except for Dare.
Rival coming in here with 2 IS-7s, 3 Batchets, a 140, and an RU-251. Dare, 2 IS-7s, 3 Batchets, an S-Tank, and an RU-251. So the only change is they dropped, I believe, a Kronwagen for another IS-7, or another Batchet for an IS-7, excuse me.
Yep. I like it. Double IS-7, plenty of hit points, plenty of armor, decent mobility.
Not the greatest gun depression.
But we can work with that, right?
Well, if you can put it in the right holddowns and pick the engagements on your term, absolutely. Sometimes you're not always that lucky, though.
Yeah. Maybe just stick a Batchat behind an IS-7 and just go.
Just drive it down the one line like we've seen multiple teams through this season?
4-5, right down the middle. Just right at the start. You know. Just make it happen.
Unknown one. With those fancy numbers down there with spotting. So, and that kind of speaks volumes because he's also a caller. So at the end of the day, you know, he's going to be one of those people that's going to go out there and get the intel himself, which I would have to think has a lot to do with why he's spotted so many tanks this season. Now, the person in the lead on spotted tanks is actually Fosta, who primarily plays a tier 8. He's sitting well over 130 tanks spotted on the season.
Yep. Now, Rox, what's Dare's plan here?
They are going to slow it down a little bit, and they're going to go for an offense that we see a lot, where they slowly clear out the 8-9 line and then try to get some cap pressure. And then do one of 2 things, and that's either going to be they're going to rotate over towards the 7-8 line and hold it straight from the 6-7-8, which is something I'm not the biggest fan of these days. Or what they're going to do is get some cap pressure, try to force a rotation, and have these tanks sitting down on the 2 line ready to catch it.
And to tell us all about it, we're going to go to a Dare listen-in to hear what they're up to.
If I hit somebody, they're gonna know I'm on the hill, though.
I know. That's what I want. I've been blind firing there.
Okay. Blinding.
So I'm moving up to my bushes, okay?
You want me to go to A8? They're flexing you?
Not yet. Do IS-7, what the fuck? So you hit someone, right? You hit
I might have hit a 140.
No, I'm talking about Jojo.
We don't know.
The flags?
I don't know. Maybe?
The fuck is it?
No idea. I don't know.
They might want to still a 140 in the one line.
They might dump, yeah, nice.
Yeah. What we have?
I saw a tree fall on the one line, I believe.
Okay.
Where on the one line?
It was still deep. It was still like over here, I think.
I'm moving up to here, okay?
Aggressive, will you spot the one line?
Hey, Bert, spot that IS-7, that front one. There you go.
It's like, I think it's super weird, like split push. Like IS-7 here and then on delay time.
They've got a 140 back here still.
Are you?
They got info. They got info on us, Putin.
Yeah,
okay.
they know we're here, but they didn't spot us.
They didn't spot us, but they got info because I bounced my fucking heat shot on RU.
Let's wait load ATCR, Max.
Aim better.
Yeah, the IS-7's back down once they.
Wait, listen. We still IS-7 there. Can we just try to take this with this
do not fucking do that.
There's still a 140 back there.
At least me in the side.
Okay. What we can do? Because I can move up here to spot this. Can we send an I
want to get free damage on this guy.
I'm clipping, guys.
Play this side.
Play
this side.
Come on.
I could send. Hey, I can go down to 0.
Careful,
if I get hit from A6, then we could take the 1 from like if their bats are here.
That's absolutely.
I'm moving back to my bushes. So what's the plan? Are you I7 gets closer? Are you getting here and I7 go down this?
Got it.
They're flexing back into the middle to get safe. Oh, 140 defend me.
Where, Bernd? Where?
They're right here. You can see that. The IS-7s are just coming over to be safe in case we push the other side or dump.
I'm lagging out. I have 800.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh, rip. I7 on the hill is staged. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, go. What the fuck, Chase? Serious?
Yeah, there's nothing here.
Don't be a risk like that, though.
I think they really want the one line. Like, they really do.
Can we get
Chase?
Then we should get a trigger on second cap. Like get IS-7 here,
Okay.
and are you on cap? But first clear out this.
Okay, yeah, I'm moving
You
up.
were not spotted. You're not spotted,
I
right?
was not. Nope.
Okay, I7. You spotted or no?
Nope. No spotted. Not spotted.
No spot.
Okay, I'm moving up to
No
my
spotted.
bushes. I'm in the bushes. So
Okay.
you want to get a trigger for them and then push one line. With like, are you on cap and I7 poking this, but then I7 going low, okay? You want to do this or no?
Let me. I mean, yeah, it seems fine. I think the I7's kind of moved up a bit.
I think if we get on cap, it might trigger them to push us on one line.
Dirge, I think you should get here
That's
now.
okay though.
I'm gonna get on
Okay.
cap.
Okay,
Make
rolling.
a scout run to make sure they have no tanks here.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
tanks Here.
I don't know where the other I7 went.
Yeah, I7. I think you should push up like to here.
Yep.
I haven't seen him cross
and
wide,
then
so he's still
immediately-
in the middle. I just don't know where.
Okay. You want me to poke the ridge?
Nation,
no,
if we
are
get
you
pushed
first?
by
Are you
I7,
first?
we kill
Yeah,
bats first.
nothing
not
there,
I7.
guys. Nothing there. They
Yeah.
all like fucking on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just dump 3 on 2 cap.
Yeah, just totally do that. Yeah,
I got
totally.
They have two
Right.
I7s. From
I
who?
still think that.
I don't know. I poked here. And
You got spotted?
Can
Okay.
you check for this chase? I'm like.
It's not there. 'cause
For
I'm
sure,
Not, I'm
he's-
not lit.
The
I'm
other
not
I7
lit.
is way
Whatever.
back there.
Go. Try to get a cap. Pressure I7. Move up to here. Get spotted. Then back off.
Okay.
I finally broke a flex gun. I'm out of
I think
HP
they're
though.
gonna push one line after they get the cap.
That'd be great.
You got a
Push
kit?
into a fucking S tank, please.
Yep. Yeah, please. I'm ready.
Burnt, he used up his kit.
He might.
There's very important
No,
for
no,
to
no.
get spotted.
I just used.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'll get spotted. No
I'm
worries.
sitting higher up on the ridge now. If you
Okay,
get
let's
spotted,
get
you
ready
should
here.
just, back
They
off.
might take
Yeah.
one line now. Now
Allow me a
that we're
forward,
cap.
by the way. I never clicked.
Oh yeah, I7's totally gonna spot me.
Nice. Didn't get damaged.
Nope.
Just wait.
Sit on the red
Caps,
line.
We still have 4 minutes. Just wait for them.
Yep, aggressor nation, get ready.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're flexing.
Take it now, guys. We have no other option.
Okay,
You
let
want us to
aggressor
get off
go
cap?
first. Let aggressor go first.
Yeah, are you off clip? I7, get lower.
Yep,
Get
dropping.
into the riverbed. Get into the
I
riverbed.
am. I'm turning and going.
Oh my god, ghost shell
Just
right
you
through
can
the
just
area.
immediately take mid, guys. What is there left?
Into I7s
3,
or not?
5?
There is a.
The meds
Back
are just
chat?
gonna push into me.
I will try to farm as best I can here.
2 crits
Yeah.
on the 140. He should be out in ammo rack, I believe.
Nice hit then.
Yeah, they're dumping. We gotta kill I7s.
Yep. Are you guys coming?
Gotta dump into I7s. Everybody who's alive, dump into I7s, please.
Sorry, Dirge, can't help you anymore.
That's okay. That's okay.
I got a crit on the
Guys,
I7.
these guys, you gotta get the fuck out of there.
That's it.
I'm
I'm
getting-
going down.
It's fine.
Going down.
We're fine.
Bats are all.
Just kill
all over
I7.
everything.
Take these. Kill I7. Take these. Get second cap.
Fuck,
Come on. Kill I7. Get second cap.
Gotta hit Commander J in the back too.
I have 20 seconds of reload. You have to kill this I7.
Chase, just farm that
Three
This
I7.
seconds
bitch,
on
you have
reload.
to, you have to move out.
No, I need to leave.
Getting shots.
Oh, fuck, they're behind us now. Nice track, aggressor.
I think they're
Unknown
gonna
one's
push
coming
on
over.
I7.
They are. Yes, they are.
Good stuff there from both teams, but at this point it looks like Rival are going to pull ahead. They're going to find Zakum in just a second. He does manage to put a shot into Burden, and actually Bird's going to change targets, go for the bat chat of Unknown One. Actually misses. Aggressor does pick up Zakum from across the map, and now it's going to be 2 tanks against 5 in favor of Dare Rising.
Yeah. Well, Dare went on quite a tear there for a moment, but well, Rival just kind of tore right back through him. And there was a little bit of a struggle there for Dare, but ultimately their ability to kind of keep things together, especially when it comes to finishing a battle, it really has paid off this time.
And this is going to be 4-0 in favor of Dare Rising to pick up the win over Rival. There's going to be one more round on to, what is our next map? I totally forgot.
It's going to be Ruinberg.
And it's going to be Rival starting on defense. So not the worst situation to be in if you're Rival. Now, one thing I did want to point out there real quickly is, you know, I've sat down and talked with Milo Putin when he was here for the North America Finals, and we've been listening to him since the start of last season. Tonight I noticed his English is pretty dramatically improved.
I mean,
seemed a lot more confident what he was saying.
When you have to convey complex tactical plays in English to your teammates, yeah. And there's that quote-unquote ghost shell. Bird doing the classic thing when you're a player and just calling it out to your team. It's a ghost shell, guys. Obviously, it must be the game.
It just sailed right over the tank and you.
It's just what you do. And then you could just keep everyone from yelling at you for a minute. Unfortunately,
until they see that replay.
We decided to embarrass him here on broadcast.
But with that being said, so, you know, and there have been stories about players on other teams that come in without not speaking the same language as the rest of the team, and they never really kind of get that synergy. And so I think that really is a great step for Dare to kind of build a team. Because that's the thing about Dare is they're not here for one season or something. They're trying to build one of the best teams, not just in the WGLNA, but in the world. And so they're
trying to build a legacy.
They're trying to build a legacy, and they're putting in the work. And when you have players like Malputin that care about it and are trying to get along with the rest of the team, make sure that they can communicate effectively, it goes a long way.
Absolutely. And looking at the post-bout stats, Bird in the IS-7 putting up 3K. Right behind him, Aggressor in the S-Tank. An IS-7 beating an S-Tank in damage output.
But Aggressor, one of the top damage dealers in the league, only 100 damage behind Burden. Not bad there. And Burden's actually been putting up some very good numbers tonight across the board.
Got to give him credit for that. I also like seeing double IS-7s. Just, I guess the meta's shifting again, as we haven't seen quite as many double IS-7 strategies as in the past. And usually we've only seen one, maybe with another tank complementing it. A lot more Kronwagens is what we were seeing. But now the IS-7 seems to perform just well enough that you can get by.
The biggest thing is the IS-7 has the consistent fire gun, while the Kronwagen has the low DPM and the burst. Now, 1600 burst is nothing to scoff at, especially when you pair it together or you have Batjets and support.
Yes.
But when you have a tank that's going to be off by itself normally, just poking ridges like that against other consistent fire tanks, having an IS-7 gun's not bad there. And we kind of watched how they were squaring off over that middle ridge. Definitely was good play.
All right, so let's get ready because we're about to start battle number 5.
Runeberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the center square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armored heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the center or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
And to do all of that risky shifting from one side to the other, Rival are going to bring two 113s, two 50Bs, a Batchat, a TVP, and an RU-251. Dare Rising, a 50B, an IS-7, a Batchat, two TVPs, a Grill 15, and an AMX 5100.
And look at this, the opening run. Knight's able to make it. Maybe it just a sec, takes 3 shells and is able to get to cover, stopping Dare's push a little bit
Looks
short.
like he got lucky that Aggressor missed one of those shells.
No, Aggressor didn't get a chance to put it out. He went on reload instead of.
Okay.
So Aggressor was spotted by Knight in the opening.
So
run.
he just ducked to cover, make sure he didn't take any damage.
He didn't want to take counterfire because I'm pretty sure he started to catch on that something was happening. Because look at Bird. Bird just got whacked, right?
Taking a lot of damage, and look at this. It's almost a hard counter to a certain extent from Rival, knowing that Dare like this North Cap. They have all their tanks stacked up in A6.
Has Dare done anything but a North Cap in the past?
Not that I can recall, but don't quote me on it.
Okay. I just wanted to point that one out because I don't think we've seen too many times where Dare hasn't gone for the North Cap. And so when you see that coming, I mean, just do that. Notice Chase Potato in the 5100. This is going to be turned on its side and used as cover. And it's possible, Chase only brought 1 clip of ammo, so that he can't get ammo racked. And he's gonna begin flipping his tank now. So in a moment, he should be able to flip
just
on.
There, we just watched the 50B from Dare push Milo Putin up into the little row pile so he can get over the top of there, and he was able to close with the 5100 without having to expose to any of the guns from Rival. So now he has all his HP. They have Chase Potato on his side, and once again, they're going to go with the push of the Tier 8, try to get him towards Cap. They need to get him spun around, though, so when they flip him,
he's on the
push towards
correct
Cap. He doesn't flip over, because if it was Milo Putin trying to push him down that way, he'd just flip over onto his tracks, which defeats the whole purpose.
Yep. And there, he's done it. And as he raises the flag and then lowers it on his 5100, everything will be fine. I love that. I'm really loving this play. It's just so adorable.
My biggest complaint with it is it takes so long to accomplish.
Yeah.
It takes so long to push that tank over there. We're almost 3 minutes in, and they don't even have him close to Cap. So it's going to be at least another minute or 2 minutes before he's on Cap and in position, which only leaves, let's say at best case they get him there by the 6-minute mark. That's 6 minutes left. they have to do that, and they know that there's an RU 251 over at A3, so they have to deal with killing him. And depending on how Knight decides to play that, he could be alive for quite some time. We watched Rude Awakening play that spot for a significant amount of time the other day versus Dare, and it really haunted Dare, and it made this play unsuccessful.
Yeah. Well, while we watch them slowly push a tank forward, notice actually let's take a moment and kind of appreciate something. Appreciate the manner in which this IS-7 pushes forward the tank. Right? You're a heavy tank player, and have you executed this strat yourself before?
No, this is typically what was done before this season. This is the first season where we've seen this come into play in all the regions. Typically what they'd do before is they'd bring something like a Japanese heavy. I've seen teams try to use an E100 to do it, a mouse. The CDC was the popular one.
Anyway, then in this case, looking at the way the IS-7 is driving, notice the way that he kind of wiggles back and forth.
Well, he has to balance it out. He can't. There's no one spot where he can push it exactly dead center because of how the 5100 is shaped. So he's wiggling back and forth, just making sure that.
Here's the tricky part. Here's the tricky part. He can't get caught on terrain. If he gets caught on terrain, he might accidentally flip Chase on his head, and that would be not good. And there, Chase is spotted. My Little Putin not spotted yet.
He's going to line up the shot towards Knight, not get the connection. He knows he's over there. Don't believe Knight's actually spotted right now.
He is not. So Knight might be able to get a track shot, maybe, but that's a risky play for him. He has to decide whether or not he wants to risk getting spotted and destroyed, especially after taking most of his hit points and damage on the opening run. That's the main point to follow on that, is that he did not manage to get the damage he wanted. And what is that aggressor in the TVP taking a lot of damage?
Unknown One also going down, losing his ammo rack. And he's about to go down. Unknown One tried to make the cross, got tracked in the open by Burden Fungus. Durgil chimed in there, took a nice big chunk of that, and it was Durgil that ended up being able to clean it out. Great 1-2 punch, as you were, from Dare, and that's a free tank for Dare Rising. However, the HP is actually...
Nice shot by My Little Putin. That's blind.
Great stuff there from both teams, really. Dare just getting unfortunate to get caught out. No, definitely. I hear you.
Yeah. So now they're on cap. And now we wait to see what Rival will do as a response. Will Rival decide to counterattack? Flank?
Well, losing Unknown One's going to make a counter push hard there. The best thing that Rival can do right now is let the cap build up and then find a way to get some resets and then slow it down again. Yeah. But with this tank lineup, with their positioning, that's a lot easier said than done.
Absolutely. And now we wait because it will be a minute or two before we see Rival get into position to create this counter. And so, Commander J leads the way in the DVP.
But he doesn't know that there's a bat chat already waiting for him over at K2.
Oh, he doesn't know that.
And so they're going to opt to go for the middle road with the bat chat TVP and 113 of Zekum.
Which is an absolutely safer play. Kind of. And I say kind of.
Because there's a TVP of Burden Fungus.
Would you be more afraid of a TVP or a bat chat if it was waiting downrange?
Depends on the situation and your HP. If you're full HP, I'd rather see a TVP because at the end of the day, I know he can't kill me. But if I'm a tank like Commander J right now, probably just the bat chat because you have a little bit more time to get out of there.
Yeah, you're able to live through it. With the bat chat, though, oh, Executus is down.
And he finds Burden Fungus, and Burden Fungus makes short work of that. And that's the advantage that TVP has. It fires all of its shots
so quickly.
Basically in 3 seconds from the time you fire the first shot to the last one. So that's 1,200 damage, essentially, that you put down range. And as we're going to watch here, as Commander J does try to find Durgil, but Nationwide picks him up.
But look at the cap. 25 points. Oh, it's gone!
The 50Bs are going to roll in here. They're going to get the resets, but I don't think it's going to matter because Dare are up on guns and HP.
Yep. All right. For a moment, I thought that was actually going to go towards Dare for a minute, but I got excited. I'm sorry. It's over. Flak and Tesla. 250Bs can deal a lot of damage. I don't know if they can deal that. They can deal that.
Well, they have 3,200 damage if they both have full clips, but they're both on reload right now. Flak just fired his last shot. MacTap's going to come in here, go for the ram onto Tesla. Now it's all down to Flak. He's going to get shot once and one more time by Nationwide from down the street, and that is going to be a 5-0 in favor of Dare Rising.
Well, that was fast, decisive, and well played by Dare. I have to give credit to them. They've played it well, and in every single battle, they more than just one. They really usually won by a grand margin. I think there was the one proc battle that they had to 1v1. And that came down to one shot versus
and
one
Mactep
shot.
played that near perfectly.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. We've seen some great damage by IS-7s. I'm seeing damage in the 4K a lot today as well. Have you noticed this as well?
Yeah, well, when you have something like Durgil and a Grill, able to just pump out shot after shot, Unknown One gives him his old tank for free, essentially. Yeah, it's not too surprising, and also Aggressor's still doing some really good damage, and they're 3,200 this game, so both of them are going to have some pretty solid numbers, both on damage and fantasy points.
You know, I noticed something about Aggressor that maybe we'll have to wait till we see the post-match stats until we know how that went down, but it looked like Aggressor was always second place in damage.
But it was still in the
not
3K margin.
Yeah,
so.
But it seemed like he never was able to put up top damage. Like, he's just sitting there like, all right, guys, I probably have it this battle. Nope. By like 100 damage, he just falls behind because like he had kill shot, you know, or something like that.
And look at Unknown One here, just gets caught out by all these tanks. So it was actually Aggressor that got the first bit of the clip, and then Burden comes in and finishes him off. 50 Bs roll in here to clean out Mile Putin towards the end there. They make short work of it, but the problem was this was too little too late. They were the last two left alive. So
losing Unknown, I think, was what really ruined it for Rival, and Dare able to take that out, deal with that. I think we just need to give credit to Dare, because Rival's not a bad opponent. You can see it early battle especially, right? You can see the way that they handle an early battle. Late battle, yeah, you can criticize that, but whenever it's a win in an early battle, Dare, you can give credit to Dare for really, truly being on top of it.
Yep, and Durgil coming in here with 4,400 damage, 71 fantasy points. Aggressor, 46 fantasy points over the 3,200 damage he did. Pretty consistent there. Mactep had a relatively quiet night tonight, though he did come up big the few times that he was called upon to do so. Looking at the second page, Unknown One got off one shot of damage before he completely went down, and then Chase Potato, unsurprisingly, the moving bunker did nothing.
Unfortunately, he just got caught out. So
shot, and looking at the fantasy points here, Aggressor doing 264. Not terrible, considering this was a 5-0 game.
Because he was the most consistent player out of all.
And that was what I was getting to, is while he was second best on his team, he was consistently second best through all the games. And that consistency is what can get you up there in these points.
Exactly.
However, 264, it goes without saying, is fairly underwhelming in terms of fantasy points, especially with some of the other matches we have.
Well, with a 5-0, what are you going to get, you know? No. There's only so much damage that you can get that your teammates aren't going to. I mean, if Aggressor were to do much better, I'm pretty sure he would have had to tell people on his team to stop firing so that he could get shots in.
Well, let's ask Aggressor if that's what he did as he joins us right now on the winner interview.
Well, Aggressor, hi, how you doing, buddy? Oh, I didn't know you were there. It's great to see you putting up solid points.
Thank you.
You made it look easy.
Screwed up every now and then. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, we won.
What's going on with that? Do you guys feel like that was on top of your game, or what? How would you characterize the match?
I mean, there's a lot of things we screwed up on that definitely could have went better. The game shouldn't have been that close, but I mean, Rival played good, so I gotta give it to him.
1v1 here and there, I guess. Some weird flexes, but it seemed like
Chase Potato.
There's that one. When you guys were dealing with. Sorry, actually, do you have a question, Rock? Go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to say was, I pointed out during the game we were doing the listen into your team, Mile Putin's English seems to be getting significantly better. Have you guys noticed that as well?
It's always been pretty good. It's just now that we have now that everyone's speaking English that's playing, there's less Russian being spoken, so just more focused on the language.
He just doesn't have to worry about switching all the time between Russian and English. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he really cares about that, but it annoys us.
Because you guys are like, come on, man, I'm not up to date on the Russian. That's kind of how it is?
Everyone wants to know what's going on.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, any final thoughts on that match? Because that was pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we screwed up a lot, but definitely what we thought was going to happen. I wish we would have played Mines because I had a pretty cool strat I wanted to try out.
Maybe next week?
Yeah, maybe next week. And I did tell them to stop shooting so I could get more damage, and they said no.
No? Aw, man. No. They're not going to let you get those fantasy points, man. I picked you, I think. All right, well, it was a pleasure having you on, Aggressor. That was some great play, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Tuesday.
See you on Tuesday.
Bye.
So Dare will be joining us again on the 16th, I believe next Thursday.
Why would you do that to me?
They will be facing off against Eclipse.
Okay, so they'll just be watching on Tuesday. Just sitting back, relaxing, being all cool.
Yep.
Okay.
But Eclipse versus Dare, that should be a fun match.
That should be, absolutely. Dare's going to have quite a fight ahead of him for that one, so they're going to have to do their homework.
Yeah, and just remember, this is vital for that second place spot. The second place spot in this season gets the automatic bye to the offline regional finals. Apex pretty much at this point has theirs locked up. They're 12 points ahead of anyone.
I think it's impossible for them not to get second at least, right? Just about?
I would have to check mathematically. I think they're close, if not guaranteed at this point. I think a win tonight would definitely go a long way towards that as well.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to find out after we go to a little video piece. And once we come back and we're ready to do the 07 versus Apex match, we'll be able to show that one for you guys. But in the meantime, check out this little highlight video. Should be a lot of fun.
Welcome back to the World of Tanks Gold Leagues, ladies and gentlemen. I am James Rockstar Grief, joined alongside by Randall Rukill Holcomb. Today is match day 11. We just watched Rival get basically run over by Dare Rising. They put up a decent fight, but at the end of the day, Dare Rising just put their foot down on their throat and put them out of their misery pretty quickly.
It was kind of clean. It was pretty clean, guys. There's not much more to say about that one because going forward, we've got 07 versus Apex, where we've got the most dominant team in the league about to go up against 07. But
who are struggling.
But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about fantasy tanks. I hope you guys made your picks already today.
Yep, that can be found on our fantasy website at wgl.gg/fantasy WGLNA. Make sure your roster is set. About a couple hours after the show, today's standings will be up. Remember, prizes are for the week and for the season. Type 59s are up for grabs. Myself, Randall, and the whole community are on there, so get in there to have a good time.
Absolutely. And on Twitter and Facebook as well, don't forget, at WGLNA, hashtag WGLNA, and on Facebook, /WGLNA, where we go live with tips and tricks before the broadcast. So let's get into this match, Rockstar. 07 Apex. Let's talk about 07 first, their roster.
Let's talk about that in just a second because we actually have an offline replay right now.
Oh, we do? Oh, fantastic. Let's check it out. Who do we got? We have Valence in top tier.
And Valence struggling on Ghost Town, going down 2-0 pretty quickly. But then we go on to Himmelsdorf here in a minute where they're actually able to get back into the things and tie it up 2-2.
Nicely.
So not bad there. It's going to be a rather long series to watch. E100 on Ghost Town, not a pick I've been particularly fond of.
I like it.
It can work when you run them in pairs, but especially a single one like Valence did that one round, I question it.
I can see where you're coming from. We'll have to see how that plays out in the long run as, well, a tied series Valence showing that they've still got teeth. Something that we've been wondering whether or not we'll see.
Well, this is a vital win for Valence. We were talking about how vital this was for Rival, but if there's a chance for Valence to make the playoffs, especially with 07 struggling and 07 playing Apex tonight, 3 points here would be huge. It would put them right onto the heels of 07, and they still have to play each other. Or no, they already played each other. So what that's going to come down to is 07 have M60s, Rival, and Eclipse next. Yep. So that's only one match out of the three of those that you really have to favor 07 at this point. So that should be the window opening for Valence.
All right. And also an update on the other broadcast match, or non-broadcast match that's going on right now. Aquatic M60s versus Eclipse. Not currently on screen, but elsewhere is currently sitting at 2-2, where Aquatic M60s has managed to put 2 points on the board on Cliff.
A map that they struggled on in seasons past.
Where Eclipse playing Murovanka apparently has been able to put 2 wins up as well. They're playing Prohorovka right now, and we shall see and catch you up on those results later tonight. But until then, let's return to 07 versus Apex and talk a little bit about that 07 roster to start. So, there's been some big news that's been announced today. Let's hit on that one first. That one's just the elephant in the room.
Ledif announcing that he will no longer be playing for 07 after tonight. He is here. He is playing tonight. But starting on Tuesday, he will not be on 07. Whether or not he goes to a different team has yet to be announced.
Looking at Apex, and we'll talk more about 07 and the rest of the roster later, but we'll talk about Apex now. Of course, everyone in this roster, as far as I'm concerned, is now an all-star.
Yeah, but External having to not be able to play because of his duties with the Air Force, so Germ has in the meantime stepped in and taken the starting spot. We'll have to see how long that remains. He played decently well on Thursday. They got pretty solid result against M60s, I guess you could say, if you want to call 5-0 solid.
Yeah, I think that's about as solid as you could possibly get. So, aside from your opponent literally saying, we just give up, we know it's not going to happen.
Haven't seen that happen before.
That's only happened once in the history of the WGL. Doubt it will ever again. As we look at the maps, 07 Prohorovka, Ruinberg chosen by Apex, Mines chosen by 07, Murovanka chosen, or by default, to Apex.
Now, the one that really caught my eye on this comes to that Mines pick. Apex have only played it once this season. They played it a good bit last season, but so far this season, they've only really played it once, where looking over at 07, excuse me, they've played this map 14 times with a 70% win rate. So if they can get that far, you do think they're going to be in it. And looking at the other maps, Ruinberg tends to be a 1-1 map. Defense does everything right. They should win. And Apex's offense is only sitting at a 50% win rate, which for Ruinberg is fairly high, but still only 50%. So between those two maps, you think that's 1-1. So that comes down to Proc and Murovanka. Murovanka is definitely a 1-1 map. And Prokorovka...
So what's the scoreline?
After Proc, that's the one that I think could set the tempo. If that's Apex 2-0, then I think they can get into this just I think they have this done and dusted there. But if it goes 1-1 or for some reason 07 starts off 2-0, I think this could be a very close series.
Yeah, especially Ruinberg being where it is, the tempo of the entire match. It could 07 has a chance to draw it out if they can win in key positions and key points in the.
But remember the match on Thursday, 07 just could not get into things. They got shut down hard early. They never picked up any momentum, and you have to sit there and kind of wonder, well, if that happens again tonight versus Apex.
Well, let's see what they have to say for themselves on that one, Rox. We have both team representatives here on the broadcast. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. We have Fosta. Fosta, welcome. I like your office. It almost is as nice as Comps. You guys I think you guys use the same paint on the walls. Yeah, I think, oh, wow. It's the same color.
And
that's so eerie.
It looks like Comps is trying to do his best Meadowhawk impersonation that he can, dressing all snazzy. No background, though. Where's that Apex background? Is that going to be coming soon?
No. I mean, I didn't want to put that much effort in.
Oh, okay. Well, this is good enough. I mean, it's right there. And Fosta, without Meadowhawk here on the face-off, how is your team going to find the morale necessary in order to win today?
I'm not sure. I guess we're just going to have to dig real deep here.
All right. I mean, it sounds like you're doing all right now. So, Fosta.
Question of the day.
Question of the day. What map would you like to see added to the WGLNA? Ooh, I know.
I'm not really sure. Maybe, I don't know. I do know.
Follow your heart.
That's a question.
follow your heart, Fosta, because Comps knows how. Comps, please, you've got the answer. What map to the WGLNA?
It's got to be Ensk. I mean, that was one of my favorite maps to play back at Tier 8, and I think it'd be pretty good and interesting at Tier 10.
All right, the cap placement would definitely have to be well thought out. I've been trying to imagine that one for a while, but Ensk is a map that I've always loved, so I'd love to see it back.
All right, now Comps.
I know what I want. By the way.
What is it, Fosta?
Yeah, it'd probably be Sand River. I'd like to see that come back.
Nice.
It's been there a long time ago.
Scout players always, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, just go surfing. All you do all day is
well, that was
surfing and
actually
drifting.
the first season of Tier 10. I was talking about this on Twitter during the break. The first season of Tier 10, we had Sand River in rotation, and it was interesting. It was slow, kind of played a lot like Muravanka, but it was still fun.
Absolutely. Now, Comps, your team has been on a complete tear. At this point, are you guys even setting your sights on matches today? Or are you guys starting to look forward towards playoffs, finals, or even the Global Grand at this point? Where's your team?
Well, I mean, since the very beginning, we've been having our sights on Global Grand Finals. This season and I guess the regional finals are just like an obstacle in the way of that. So, I mean, we have to get through that before we get to Grand Finals. But as for, getting ready for this match, I mean, it's the same amount of work as we've put in since the beginning of the season. So it's, it's nothing different for us.
Same old from Apex. You guys have got the formula down pat. Now, Fosta, questions from Rockstar now.
Yep, so you guys have been struggling, to say the least, recently. What are you guys going to do today to beat Apex?
I mean, we haven't really been playing very, very sharp, I'd say. The past few matches keep, dropping leads that we have. It's always frustrating. But, I'm not really sure how to beat Apex in all honesty. I mean, I think maybe we should, take a strat from Eclipse's book and maybe we have to, become Apex. Maybe that's a good idea,
How
try and, get some sleeper agents in there, Maybe they'll come out sometime, who knows.
Okay, see if maybe you can study your opponent, learn the way they think. I see what's
exactly
going on. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the face-off. We'll see if your hard work's going to pay off, Fosta, in this next match. All right, they're going off to play. Well, and we are left here to speculate as to how this is going to go down. Did you hear what I heard in that?
Let's speculate even a little bit more. Let's put this one out there. Lenif is leaving 07.
Ooh.
We don't know to where, but it also leaves another thing that has to happen. 07 have to fill a slot on their team.
Ooh.
Now, who knows? A lot of people currently on Apex knows them well. Be a good person to play against them.
I wonder who.
There's some interesting names out there. I'm not even going to name them, but you guys get ready for Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. We've roster submissions, by the way, right now. Teams have 2 periods in the entire season where they can change rosters. They must submit for them well ahead of time. They must be then approved. Paperwork must be then filled out, and then those players are added to the rosters. So it's a bit of a process, is what I'm getting.
For legal reasons, mostly.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of paperwork involved. These guys are actually... Anyway, so... point is, it takes a little while, and of course there's a little drama that pops up because of the way it always goes down, because there's people saying, I'm removing this player in not tomorrow's match day, but for next week. And so with the new Ledif news coming out and a few other players switching around, I mean, there's always some good fun. It shakes things up a little bit.
Yep. Well, we'll find out exactly how much that shakes things up on Tuesday, because right now we are ready for our first battle of the series.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
And here we go, 07 and IS-7, 3 bat chats, a grill, an STRV, and an RU-251. Apex and IS-7, 3 bat chats, a grill, an STRV, and an RU-251.
It's a mirror matchup! Yes! For the first time, and I've been waiting for this all season.
We really just need to clip. We just need to have an audio soundboard with just clips.
Mirror matchup.
That's what we need in the background. I'm not even going to try.
I've been waiting for that for so long, Rockstar. You have no idea. Do you know what this means to me?
Is that the first time we've seen the mirror matchup all season?
All season, dude. I have been waiting weeks for this. Thank you.
It's amusing how excited you are to see this. And right out of the gates, 07 heading towards the middle ridge as the tanks from Apex doing a fairly normal split.
07 doing kind of just everyone ballooning out and taking as much space as possible. Opening run.
And it is Germ stepping in for external today.
Okay. Led, if you can see him, still there in that grill 15. He's going to perform for people tonight. Knows his job. All right, Fossa opening scout run. Bit aggressive, but good, well-timed, well-placed.
And you have to remember, Fossa has the most spots of anyone in the league this season.
It's because he knows how to scout. He knows what he's about. And, well, he's going to play it right. That's a safe, not too, there's a very standard scout run that he does. He keeps it a nice short loop. He didn't go for what a lot of scout players...
Unpredictable, make sure you got delit before he comes up and pokes up in a different place.
There's actually something interesting to point out. I'll bring up the mini-map here for just a second to show you guys. So, opening scout runs are often just like very long and drawn out. What Fosta's looked like was more along the lines of a short little button hook. And those are what I prefer to see as opposed to the longer drawn-out ones, because the area that
it's a lot harder to get a beat on.
Exactly. You're going to be able to get shot for that for much longer than if you make a nice little button hook run like Fosta did.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, it's exposed a lot less to the gun. So you poke up in one spot where you know that you have vision on the one area where you want to spot, and then you get cover. When you make those big, long scout runs, you're up and exposed to a lot of the guns a lot more often.
Yep. And looking at that, reinforcing that Apex is our dominant team in the league. 07 is going to be trying to figure out how to make this attack work. And if they can, that will be phenomenal for them. Because 07, if you can throw Apex off, that's going to be news for all of us, right? If you can figure out what the answer is to Apex, no one else figured that answer out, right?
Yep. Let's paint the picture for everyone. Right now, if Apex get this win and Eclipse manage to drop points to M60s tonight, Apex are going to be 1 point short of doubling their lead on the season in points over Eclipse.
Wow. Because, yeah, if Apex...
If they win this, they will be on 32 points. If Eclipse don't pick up anything, they'll be on 17. They will have double They will have double the amount of points of the team in third place.
Yeah.
That is how dominant Apex have been so far this season.
I don't know if there's only been one other team in the history of the WGLNA that's ever had that good of a record. And even then, they weren't able to keep it as dominant.
And that would have been Fulcrum/Fnatic.
Yes. Yep, that would be exactly it. No other team has managed to get the kind of wins as our good old caster David Nagatrons Williams did back in the day. His guys were dominant. And it's hard to compare it to Apex today because
they were dominant unless they were playing teams from Apex. And speaking of Apex, L Gaming...
Apex strats?
Well, the side note here, L Gaming actually lost their undefeated run on the season last match day.
Really?
They dropped to team efficiency. They had won everything so far this season, and they had won everything last season. They had not dropped a game anywhere except for the Challengers Rumble.
Oh, look at this. Canadian Impact leading the charge in an S-Tank, as right behind him, that's all the Bat Chats, Nits, Germ, Dodo, and God, Emperor Brett, and the Grill 15 to begin this engagement. And, oh, I see what's going on. It's hard to fire against Makos in his own S-Tank, so they've decided to just blitz their own S-Tank forward.
Wait till you can get along the side of him.
Yeah.
Wait till you can get up in nice point and blank. It's actually going to be Ledif and a Grill instead of the S-Tank, letting Makos sit in there. And look at the damage, actually fairly even, but at this point, Apex getting the gun advantage, and that's really coming in because the extra DPM is helping out, and now multiple guns are dropping for 07.
Yeah, but look at the hit points. 07's still able to put damage on the board, and with Commodore, Ledif, Major Issues having taken almost no damage, that's really the only chance 07 still got, because aside from hit points, Apex should be able to win this. They've got too many tanks with way too many hit points. They've got every single gun on the battlefield still, and, well, that was just solid aggression. That was just it. That was good play from Apex.
Impact, great shots onto Commodore there. And Commodore down to a one-shot, and this is not looking good for 07, as all 7 guns are still alive for Apex.
All right, now for the follow-up from this is, well, where is... Oh, there's the third tank. Major Issues was hard to find all the way in the back of the map. I think that might have something to do with it. I don't think 07 was ready for that attack. They didn't have nearly as many guns on target as their opponent did.
Well, it was a timing thing for Apex. They didn't even wait for the right intel from 07. I think they had that timed out. They understood when they wanted to make that push, and they just went for it. And they caught 07 with their pants down.
And, well, pants off, dance off time for Apex. They're going to be able to have fun finishing off these last few tanks from 07. And I think it's a matter of time right now. Just going to take a second. Apex is on defense, by the way.
And Lettuce picks up the kill onto Dodoma.
Dodo just says ass. And he's just going to go forward. Because, by the way, Apex is on defense. You know that, right? This is defense Apex. And, well, yeah, that's already starting off pretty decisively for Apex for battle number 1. Ledif is the last one alive. Grill 15, and he finds Ox Mathis, but God Emperor Brett's gonna find him first.
What a send-off that would be for 07. All right, guys, we just beat Apex, but I'm bailing out right now.
Peace.
Can you imagine that?
The clutch play, like, that would be a really clutch play, because he had 6 takes to kill.
Yeah, and the damage of that game, fairly consistent out of Brett and Canadian Impact, the normal top damage dealers in Dodoma and Ox Mathis, not quite able to get into that fight.
Not at all. Really just...
And a lot
Apex
of that comes down
better.
to this. And look at this. This is Canadian Impact out in front, keeping that heat shield towards the enemy.
Yeah, so notice this about the map in general. So this play in a bubble, 07 did well, Apex did slightly better. But they had more guns on the battlefield is the problem.
Well, not necessarily the battlefield in general, but the area that they are fighting.
The bubble that I was talking about.
Yep.
The bubble that is this little...
The low
US
ground
line.
on the one line.
Yes. Everyone else is elsewhere on the map, right? So they're just not able to bring the support. They might as well have been dead. They might as well not have been there because, I mean, they didn't get to put any damage out. So there you go. But now it's going to be time for sides to swap.
And looking at this, Canadian Impact picking up 3 kills along with that 3,200 damage, 88 fantasy points, not bad there. God Emperor Brett has been doing very consistent as of the last few days, putting up a lot of points in general, doing solid damage. Looking at the second page, Wallhacks and the RE251 getting 60 fantasy points there. Wally's been putting up pretty solid numbers, especially as primarily a tier 8 player for Apex. Even on the last match day, he got more fantasy points than some other people playing tier 10s.
Interesting. I mean, you get decent points for being a lower tier tank, too.
Plus artillery.
Yeah, plus artillery.
So, definitely able to do his part for the team there. And so often when you have so many players on a team like this, like Ox Mathis, Dodoma, Nits, External, and so forth, it's kind of easy to be overlooked sometimes. But Wallhacks, quietly, which is not necessarily a word I'd use to describe Wallhacks, is able to get the job done, make the right decisions, and make Apex do what they're doing right now, because I think a lot of their success can be accredited to him. Meanwhile,
absolutely so. He's been calling the team. He's known for his high energy and Yankee accent.
Yep.
New York
accent's what I was going to go for.
Sorry, I'm from the South, so it was hard to. I had to think about it for a second.
07 coming out with an IS-7, 4 Batchets, an S-Tank, and an RU-251. Apex, an IS-7, 3 Batchets, 2 Grills, and an RU-251. Looking at this lineup from Apex, double Grills, what do you make about that while being the attacking team?
If explosion sounds were is our explosion sounds an acceptable answer?
No.
Okay. In that case, lots and lots of tanks for 07 are going to die in very short amounts of time. Well, one tank at a time is going to die very quickly.
Yeah, well, double tap, if they roll average, 750 a pop, 1,500 can be put into any tank, and these Batchats only carry 1,800.
Bye-bye. Yep, they'll be gone quickly because, well, you just put one more shell aside from that into them, and it's over. So you can afford to spread damage, and then allow your grills to kind of clean it up. And
Absolutely.
That's what you're going to be playing. You're going to be okay with not getting. Oh wow, nice shots into wall hacks. Good counter scouting by Fosta, and solid.
Something else hit him besides the RU though. That was a lot of.
That was Warbander down south. No, not Warbander. Makos. Sorry, Makos up top. We have a lot of tanks right now on 07 on the red line, and you can see this major issues. Ledif, Endipans, Warbander, Makos. That's 5 people.
Well, now that Wallhacks knows that there's a tank up at A0 taking shots at him, let's find out exactly what their next plan is.
Yeah, just I'll try to kill the stair if I can. Otherwise, I'm prioritizing bats for you guys.
Reload,
I'm
going.
Okay, guys, go. Remember, we need one bat to YOLO into here to kill anything there. And then the grills could stay high.
Remember, the IS-7 is here. That's got to be
Alright, I guess I'll YOLO
clear
with
the
you.
bats, clear the bats, and then kill the
You want me YOLOing with you, right, Wally? On the
If
3
there's
line?
anybody in 3 line, we need somebody to kill it.
IS-7's right in front of me. IS-7's down low.
Down low on the
I'm
3?
about to
I
light
think so, right there.
Yeah, there he is.
Bats, watch out.
They're
Remember,
gonna have
they're
other
down
stuff on the one.
Sturf.
That guy's really low.
Sturf right in front of me.
One of you guys has to kill the
Okay,
7.
there's a
Remember,
bat
low.
in the back.
Do you have
So
the
let's
7?
go
Oh
over.
shit.
IS-7's
nice,
dead.
nice.
There's
Right in
Sturf
front of
in
me.
the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys,
let me
we
keep a
cannot
hit.
stop.
Okay, the drills are almost
I
there.
took the hit. He just
Spot
shot.
Bat.
Oh, there's gonna be bats here.
You guys need to, yeah.
Focus
what are you doing?
major.
You're supposed to be behind the
tracked.
7.
Major.
Nice.
Sturf.
Oh,
Main dodo farmers.
kill them.
Grills,
Kill
and
them.
One
I7
shot.
kill a Sturf.
Need a shield.
I'm coming in with full clip. I don't have a good shot on the other shit, so I gotta shoot the Sturf.
Yeah.
With the
You
bat.
have to
shoot the
kill the
Sturf.
Sturf. You're the only one that can kill Sturf.
He's gonna kill me.
He's one shot.
I'm tracked.
4
He's
seconds.
shooting me.
Can we kill the Sturf? Yes.
Dogs?
Someone has to kill the Sturf.
Kill the
Good.
bat.
Nice.
Kill the
Now
Yeah,
he
yeah,
can
yeah.
Pretty much is though. They wasted all this
Makos
time.
is -3. Makos is -3.
Reloading.
Cool Warbander.
I tracked him.
Orban is tracked.
Yeah, we can't let the RU farmer or the guys.
Nice. I have 2 seconds to shoot him. One shot.
5 seconds.
I can go push
I
him
can't
out
hit him.
if
I
he's
can't hit
close.
him.
Go for
I
Foster.
can't hit him.
Dodo.
We gotta kill Fossa.
Dodo, kill Foster.
14
I can go
seconds.
kill this bat.
How much is the other bat at?
He's
Full.
full.
Oh.
Yeah.
We didn't let the bat out, right? Yeah.
I don't think
We
so.
still technically are.
Okay, well,
I just
Ario's
got
not
lit.
here. He's left, so.
Oh, you could be in the bush.
Are you left?
We're still overall
not
probably
have-
up HP.
Might have to get the eyes.
Oh, bat in the middle.
Bat in front of you, right in front of you.
Can't do anything to him.
Can you shoot the
Oh
bull in my god. I'm gonna die.
Tracked.
The Apex trying to claw this one back in. Oxmathis has most of the HP. Nitz is a one-shot. They do find the kill onto Fosta, and they just leave Makos in a full health bat chat versus these 2 tanks from Apex.
Now here's the question: Makos has time, but he's going to be moving in on 4
spotted.
shells, and moving in on 4 shells, the damage is there. But do you want to risk it? Why not wait and reload? Take a moment.
Well, I think he's trying to go maybe for. Well, he's going to get boxed in now by the I-7. I think he was trying to just get the kill onto Nitz, and then bail out, reload with a full clip, and come back for Ox. But now
bounce.
The bounce.
That's huge. That actually means Makos could do this.
He's going to look for a shot onto Nitz. Nitz trying to get behind the building, and now he's been left in a really awkward spot.
That's awkward. That's really awkward. He could have gotten Ox Mathis probably. That would have been my first thought. Use Ox Mathis as a shield and get the kill there, but unfortunately...
And he's got out. Nitz is going to pick up the kill right now, and that's going to be it. Apex managed to make this 2-0.
Well, they know what's up. They know how to play it. There you go. And another point on the board there. So,
where did that go wrong for 07? Because after that initial push from Apex, they lost so much HP on that one-line push. Where did that all go wrong for 07? Where did they lose all that HP?
I think that was right after they lost all their autoloader momentum. And then the Grills started getting shots on target. Once Grills got shots on target, it was fine. And once Apex broke through that initial defensive line, once they kind of defeated the 1-2 line, then it was everything was okay. But the thing is, Apex went in completely blind. So you know how I've talked about paying a toll? In its own way, this had its own extended kind of cost. A tax, if you will, on every transaction. And yeah, they get their kills. They're able to take down whoever they need to. The S-Tank you could hear on the comms of Apex was quite a problem. But once that was dealt with, then everything started to come together for Apex, you know? That was when things started to work out. But until then, yes, you're going to take a lot of damage. But that's just the reality of it.
Absolutely, I agree. And once those autoloaders ran out, they were trying to get to back out, reload, and come back. But at that point, like you said, Apex's consistent fire tanks just put out so much damage, especially if you look at Dodo and Brett, the two Grill 15s, 2,300 damage apiece. But Nitz, the real superstar for that round for Apex, 75 fantasy points, 3,300 damage, 2 kills, 77% accuracy. Not bad stuff there. Ox also able to get off 3 kills with 54 fantasy points. Canadian Impact struggling a little bit, but it was really Germ and Wallhacks who made that opening push down the one line that ate all the shells, that got in there, that broke the defense, and ended up going down before they could really be effective.
Yeah, and while we wait for the countdown to start, let's take a look at a highlight from one of our non-broadcast matches. Currently, I believe we're watching Aquatic M60s and Eclipse, or Valence versus Top Tier. Valence versus Top Tier, we're bringing you the 2 versus 2 update, as it looks like opening Top Tier is going to be going down.
Well, and to note, remember, Muravanka is going to have one of the best defensive win rates in the league, and that's going to continue here as Top Tier do hold out this defense against Valence, and they are able to finish out the score 5-2 over Valence. So they ended up
2 wins on Murrow and a win on Mines.
There we go. So they were able to close that out. Top Tier have looked pretty good on Mines recently, like they've been doing their homework, just trading better than Valence were right here. And it's like I said, these were some points that Valence really needed to try to catch up to 07, because 07 right now are 2-0 down versus Apex, and this is one of those things where you need to do everything you can to help put yourself in a better position. With 07 losing some points right now, this is an opportunity that Valence really needed to seize, because this is a game that you could really figure that 07 should probably drop points for.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah, it's Valence finally has a real chance, a team a little bit closer to their level right now, performing that way. But let's get back onto the 07 versus Apex, because we're about to get into battle number 5.
Runeberg, a mixed-type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the center square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armored heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the center or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
Excuse me there. I actually meant to say map number 2, battle number 3. That was my mistake.
Math is hard.
I got ahead of myself, okay?
07 coming in with 2 113s, 2 Mouses, a Batchat, and 2 Tier 9 Bats. Meanwhile, Apex, 3 113s, 2 50Bs, a Batchat, and an RU 251. Vasa going right towards the north along with the other Batchat AP. Gonna do a handbrake turn, set up looking towards Wallhacks while the mouse is closed. And they do find Wallhacks. They know he's pushing over there. They look for shots but don't actually fire because they're not reloaded.
Yep. That's one of the costs for bringing a French tank, is the fact that, well, you're not going to actually be able to fire very quickly on the open. And on some maps, if you're quite clever, you can actually use your first few shells to just arc them into random areas where players might be driving through. Used to be very common to just blind fire in the middle of Prohorovka at the opener and hope. But not so much anymore. Not as popular.
Runeberg, one of the maps that Apex are relatively successful on. They only have a 50% win rate on offense, though, which I say only. It is one of the better offensive win rates on the map. However, for Apex's standards, still a bit substandard.
What is 07 doing here?
They're sitting up towards the north cap. Dodo's peeking into the bush, getting some lights towards Makos.
Yeah, but I just saw blind fire. And I don't understand what's going on. Are they trying to lumberjack? That's what it is. They're trying to lumberjack. But they're not getting it. I think that's what it is. Okay, so what you could do is, fun fact, you can shoot trees down with HE. But I guess that's not happening.
Mouse is moving into cap right now, starting to take some damage from Ox Mathis. That 113 firing the heat shells. Like I've said before, heat shells, they're best suited for German flat armor. While it's very thick, it's also flatly armored. The heat shells don't need to normalize like other shells, and they're able to go right through for the most part. They can try to angle as best they can, but normally they won't be successful for long periods of time, as both these mouses have already lost a significant amount of HP, both below 2,000 already, taking a lot of damage, shot after shot after shot, and now these Bat Chats are coming in here. And I don't necessarily like this play, because what these mouses have done is they've drawn all the attention to this north cap already. So the guns are going to be sitting here waiting for Fosta in major issues. They're taking a lot of damage. They try to dive in on wall hacks to take him down, but look at this. These two Bat Chats are getting just completely evaporated.
But look at it. All of those autoloaders you were just so afraid of, what are they doing? They're on reload. Dodoma's just now coming off of a clip, and that's going to have God Emperor Brett Canadian Impact all on reload. So there's, right now is the moment, the exact moment when 07 needs to pick up a few kills. If they could do that, they're actually going to be able to bring themselves back into the match. Although, unfortunately,
Dodoma came off reload and saved Ox Mathis there. It picked up kills onto both, and that was the door just slammed shut onto 07's face.
Oh, maybe so, maybe, but Lidif, oh, your name, yeah, you're probably right, actually. Okay, for a moment I thought maybe Lidif would make it over, but with Anipans versus Germ, there's a 1v1 happening in the south, and that's going to leave Fosta, Warbender, and Commodore off in the north to fight against the 50Bs.
07 cracked open that door just a little bit. Apex just ran into the door full force and slammed it shut on their face. Didn't even let him think about it once. Dodoma came in there and said, nope, you're not taking Ox Mathis. You're not going to let him stop farming all of those glorious fantasy points. And at this point, it's just cleaned up for Apex.
Yep. And, well, as everyone pitches in and does their share, Anipans will go down. Next alive, we've got Warbender, Commodore, Fosta all hidden and waiting. And I'm liking the volley fire. Warbender should be going down shortly, and he will. In the meantime, Fosta's actually going to be racking up a few fantasy points, but probably not for much longer as Canadian Impact comes on in.
You want to know what I like about those mouses?
For the kill. What?
They have 3,000 HP. You want to know what that means?
What?
It's a lot of fantasy points when you kill them.
Yeah. All right. I see where your mind is every single battle.
Well, and with good reason, because Ox Mathis, 4,200 damage and 2 kills.
Oh, okay. That's nice, actually. That's really
not bad damage at all, let alone fantasy points.
And also on top of that, 1,960 blocked by armor.
Well, and he was playing that hole down the whole game. The mouses were trying to shoot it as turret armor. And that shot onto those Copolas, especially when the 113 is actually elevated over the mouses, so they have to shoot up. Trying to hit that shot is
it's really hard. Yeah. So he gets amazing performance this battle.
Yep, and while I see what they were going for here, the problem is
it's what 07's banking on is the fact that the autoloaders will run out of they'll lose steam. They'll run out of momentum.
And the 113s in the middle ridge can close distance, as well as these Bat Chats can maybe get into here. But in reality, it's just because a few missed shots onto those Bat Chats and the weird pathing they took let them miss a few shots. But that was a small window they had open. Very small, and it just didn't come off, especially when it's Apex.
Yeah, it feels like there's something missing from all of that, right? Like there's one little change to make that might cause that strategy to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like there's something there because it's obvious that it works in one way, but it's missing an element that it surely...
Look at all these points from Ox Mathis. I know you could say I'm addicted to these fantasy points, but 155 fantasy points?
Yes! I picked him on my team today.
And Brett doing 105 himself. I said that those mouses were good fantasy points, but oh my lord. Meanwhile, Fosta, top damage dealer of his team at 1,700 in the batch head AP. Everyone else just getting shut down, including both of the mouses. Wallhack's able to do 1,000 despite playing that little corner. So overall, I like it from Apex. Very standard defense that they just executed well. We were talking about this after yesterday. It's not that Apex are doing anything spectacular, and that's not a knock on Apex. It's that they don't have to do anything spectacular. If there was a team that had to perform and be spectacular, it would be Apex. But the problem is not every team's going to make them go to that next level. And as long as they set that bar high and they run at that same level, they can consistently make that jump over that high bar.
Yeah.
They're going to perform like this, and they're going to shut down a lot of these teams.
One of the things that's hardest to do when you're winning a lot is to actually stay disciplined and actually keep doing what you're doing. Because a lot of the time, you're going to be encouraged to lose focus, to play around. People are going to want to just say, nah, we keep winning by so much. Why do we need to practice? You know, you need to do the practice.
You need to do the homework. You need to keep practicing. You
need to do the rehearsal. Whatever.
You have to change things up. You know, you can't, if you keep doing the same thing. Eclipse showed us what happens when you do the same thing over and over again. Teams catch on. They set up plays to take advantage of it. And Apex almost lost their first match of the season because they, I don't want to say lazy, but they just kept doing what had already been done.
They didn't think about what their opponent was going to do.
And then you have to ask the question, did they really care?
You know, I think they do. Based on the reactions that I've heard from Apex, I think they kick themselves at the end of every match for all of the little things that happen. Like, one little mistake is probably the point of discussion, because even when you've been on those teams where everything is going amazingly well, be it a competition or be it Clan Wars,
or just anything, sports in real life.
Exactly.
Anything.
Like
there are situations where you get where even though you're winning, you can always win better, and that's what separates a good team from a top team.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. You're not comparing yourself to your opponents. You're comparing yourselves to the standard that you set for yourselves, and you try to achieve that every day. Now, let's listen in with Apex. I want to hear how their attack is going to go, because they've brought the 2-mouse strat as well.
Yeah, how long does it take for the mice to get to the south corner?
I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes.
I'm just gonna like try to tuck in. I just don't want to be played by something
first.
coming south. A tree just fell right here. Tree just fell right in here.
I would say
it's
take about a
You're supposed to be here watching
at the very least.
Bring the mice a
Are you
little
not?
closer.
No, it's here.
Yeah, it's fine, because he's got to see if anybody comes
Don't
up
get
on
lit.
that
Yeah,
too.
true. Just to see if anyone comes up behind us. Yeah.
Yeah, there is
also-
one
we are
tank that
waiting so long.
was there. So probably 113.
You could also have this bat come down here and like blind fire this shit.
If I
Yeah, 'cause
leave,
that leaves
I'm
these
giving
eyes
up
in
the
the middle.
mid eyes.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I want to say Commodore usually plays their north guy, but no, it'd be Warbander in the I-7, right?
It's most likely Warbander
Hey,
in
and your
north,
camo
but he
looks
could also
hideous.
be in the middle. But
Face
I-7,
looks hideous.
the I-7 can only be here or here, right? So
Don't talk to me. I'm going over here.
wait, did you say a guy could have taken middle?
Yeah, definitely.
No, he can't. I would have lit him.
Oh,
But
Oh,
there is
yeah, I
there
forgot.
is someone
Pretty
who's
sure
there.
you would go.
There
you'd
was a
get
guy
there,
that was there
but
because he knocked a tree down.
We'd see it. Pretty sure. Unless Dodo's tank is actually blind.
30 seconds will go.
So at like 7:30.
So how exactly are we doing this? The 2 mice go, and then are all the bats going from the A-line?
No, the
No.
bad AP is going to get on cap.
Bad AP is
Oh,
getting
yeah.
a cap, and if then we try doing something with the
And
bats.
then this bat's just watching behind.
Then we fucking kill
Yeah.
everybody.
He'll prevent someone from flanking.
So 07, or Apex, excuse me, getting ready to make this push. They have their idea, they have the execution they want to go for, but now it's up to 07. This is being handed to them to see what they want to do, how they respond, and if they can save it. So let's go ahead and listen into 07 and see what they do to save this round.
One bat north,
Just go ahead. You
or
can just work
150B?
to track them with the 113.
Yeah, I'll move my 50B north, Makos.
Okay. I'm gonna
We
just
should be ready for the bats to come out. Bats to come out
SCRV.
south, mid, or top.
SCRV.
Don't forget that their bats are all on the.
Yeah.
If it's north, I'm facing it. Warbender, you've got vision F line, and south we should.
I mean, this
be fine.
113 is pretty good set to farm, like, you know.
But
and the bats can't
But then be ready for them to be in here, Warbender, because they're gonna try and like kill Andy probably. I'm watching.
I'll be ready to come back, Makos, if they slate him.
I should be good just to get a couple.
Cam,
shots.
if they corner on you, I'm gonna have cover fire, but
Makos, maybe turn
this
your
is
whole
pretty.
back.
They're committing pretty hard in the north.
Yeah. I'm ready to
Cam,
run.
you can probably pull back in and tuck. Because we've got Andy ready, and if they corner on you, I'll have shells. I'm gonna back up for that
50B
expectation.
down 0 line, or is that what they want?
Zero?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I don't want to touch these
they
bats.
might
This isn't actually that threatening,
They
I
can
don't
just slide
believe.
an AP behind. Yeah, that's what they're
There's a
doing.
bat. Yeah.
They're just sliding APs behind.
Okay, I'm moving. I'm moving north right now. We need to take city or something then.
Yeah.
This is a hard screen. Cam can like YOLO in, but they're gonna have shit here, which makes it
Can we just
like,
get on the
bad.
corner and just YOLO across?
Yeah, we're just gonna push into them, I would say, because of the fact that it's just.
I was
fast.
spotted here for something. It's not the mouse. It's something else.
Well, I'll
Let us
light it when I
deploying and
cross here.
aiming.
Maybe the guy in the
I
middle.
really have
that's
like
the
no
middle.
shots. Yeah, I really don't have shots from here. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
move
there's
them.
the bag.
We're gonna have to go across soon.
50B is going across.
Yeah.
I got one reset, the small, but I got one on the mouse. The second mouse has been
Oh my
reset.
god.
This bat's gonna come up center.
There's another one. There's all the bats north.
Yep.
Need to reset on
Trying to
wall
screen,
hex,
they're trying to
essentially.
screen. I'm going in.
I have one.
Can we get one reset?
Dodo's
Look
clipping.
at
He's got
that.
maybe one shell.
Sorry,
he's-
Cam. My bad.
Wally's got points.
Can we kill Germ?
It's over.
I'm looking at Germ, yeah, but
Oh, we.
How did
What
the
is the
beam
bat
on the
behind?
mouse
What's this
go
bat?
with
No,
the
me, what's the
113s?
bat
I mean
behind?
the mouse. I can shoot him if he comes out, but I don't have shots for now.
They were just
We got
completely
Brad, we're
angled,
good.
I'm
right?
bouncing the other mouse.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it. I think that's a successful cap for Apex. We'll have to see. Yes,
Yep, there
that's
it
going to
is.
be it. Apex puts another point on the board, putting it up to 4-0 against 07. You could hear 07 trying to deal with that.
And a little bit of confusion there, some tanks bumping into each other, stopping. I think if those 50Bs had carried the momentum through from their transition and they had pushed across into cap and kept up, they would have at least been harder to hit than stopping in the middle of the cap with no momentum where they got tracked and obliterated.
I don't think 07 really took that defense as seriously as I really expected them to. Usually, I would have expected to hear comms going on about like, all right, is everyone ready? Are you in your positions? Because there is a way you deal with this cap fast, right? But it has to be very, very organized. And I didn't hear that happen. I think that 07 got ahead of themselves.
Well, right there,
They
that's
could have.
Mako's.
Commodore was zoomed in, and he was trying to get shots by reverse angling himself against the mouse, and he'd been doing rather well actually.
What needed to happen was the 50Bs needed to push across that middle building just to the left of those bat chats and let the consistent fire tanks stay outside and either have shots onto the mouses or onto those bat chats and keep them pinned.
And when you also are doing this, you have to have a focus fire happening. There has to be a focus. Notice how none of the 4 tanks there went down. And they could have. And the way that they could have.
And
okay.
well, I see what you're saying. There's something to look at here.
Yeah.
There's 2 mouses in front. If you're going to pick a target in a group to shoot at, it's not going to be the mouse. That is the mouse is the absolute last tank you want to pick. It's 3,000 HP. It has terrible DPM. You leave that for last. But they were in front of the bat jets, so it was on Apex making it difficult for 07 to focus fire
And
more
that's-
than 07 failing to focus
And
fire.
that's where the intricacy of dealing with that is. You send 1 player or 2, maybe autoloaders, to deal with the cappers, right? They put 1 shell into either or even ram into them. At the same time, someone is focusing on the most available target to the most available players on your team. So everyone deals with a mouse. Maybe it has to be, but guess what? That gun is off. If you have to be in that engagement, you have to kill something. If you can't kill the bat chats and that's not going to work, you have to go for the mouse. I don't care if it's 3,000 hit points, it better be gone. That's how you're going to deal with that cap fast. Otherwise, you're dead.
Yep. No,
it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's tough, but you have to kill the mouse, and then you have to kill the other mouse, and then you have to kill the bat chats.
I'll say
It's how it's
something
gonna
about
go.
that in just a second because we don't have any more time because we're ready for our next battle.
All right.
Mines, a small summertime map with lots of hills, rocks and other cover. The teams start the battle in the usual locations, but the base locations are different. One is located in the bottom part of the village and the other one is in the water. One of the key objectives is the center hill. That's why the teams will often select fast vehicles and tanks with strong turrets for cover.
Lineups coming in here for 07, an IS-7, a bat chat, TVP, another bat chat, another TVP, and another bat chat, and a T49. Meanwhile, Apex, a 113, an IS-4, 3 bat chats, a Grill 15, and Wallhacks in the Lorraine 155. T49, an interesting choice on offense that we've seen a couple of times, but mostly out of Dare Rising. As a scout tank player, what do you make of the T49? What's your general take on it?
It's derpy.
Well, that goes without saying.
It goes derp, tanks take damage, and then the rest of the time you go derp and you miss, and then you're sad.
This is Light Tank 101 with Randall.
I feel like light tanks should be explained in the simplest humanly possible terms, just because they're like tiny and
phrases like "go find the bedman."
Well, yeah, exactly. Because whenever I've tried to teach or I've seen new players come around, they always ask about these really complex like scouting routes, or you start getting into that stuff. And I realized if you start talking about really advanced, in-depth analysis of scouting, you're taking a few steps ahead of where you should be. Reasonably, most scouting at the end of the day comes down to spot the bad men, right? It's find the other guys, find where they can see, where you can see them and they can't see you, and then stay right there, because congratulations, you've just done your job. All you have to do is continue doing that job until you die, which is probably going to be halfway through the battle, right around the prime of first engagement.
And while you were going on that little rant, to note there, Telerain 155 connecting with Andy Pans, taking out his commander and also having a damaged gun. So he's definitely hurting a good bit, rotating out towards that one line. If there's a tank to put out in front of a push, I think he's it right now.
Yep. And now Mako's playing it a little. He gets
now you can make the argument that any gun in the fight's a good fight, or is a gun in the fight, and you should keep him alive. But at the same time, he's damaged goods.
It's a gun that might not actually do any good in the fight. It's actually a gun that might do poorly or even bad in the fight.
Plus, he has that long reload because the commander's dead, and all the crew members on a bat chat are loaders, technically.
I once got into a brawl in a bat chat where I had a damaged gun and my gunner was gone. Not my commander in this case, but I accidentally team killed someone just because the reticle was so big. I was trying and I thought everything was fine, but this tiny bit of the inside of the reticle, I fired and it just went over the top and somehow hit someone up on a hill in Karelia. It's like bat chat with a bad gun is not a fun bat chat. It's actually it's really, really painful.
At least you weren't in a 183 or something.
Oh god, that would be horrible.
And this is that bat chat push coming out. They're actually going to leave Andy Pans in the back while Letif gets out in front.
You know, 07 doesn't know this is coming at all. Actually,
Apex doesn't know.
Sorry, Apex, you're right.
But they don't need to. They're already in position to deal with this. The grill watching the cross.
Well, Wally's not ready for it. He's looking off to the northeast. He could get spotted if he's not careful, right?
Now Letif and Makos are spotted. Canadian Impact gets a shot into Makos. Gets a second shot, 1100 into Makos. Makos is going to do the climb to try to go get him, but this HP is not going to go in favor of Makos. He gets the first shot into Impact, but Impact's going to return fire and take him down.
Letif is here, though, and he's going to be able to make him pay for that, so evening up the score on that regard a little bit. But then a shot from Wallhex does connect. Letif taking just a few.
And look at Brett. Talk about injured crew members.
And the push from Apex. They're going to start going towards the middle. IS-4 Oxmath is stacking up against Nits, and then right behind him, Dodoma's moving in, and even Germ. So 2 bat chats, IS-4 and a 113. Looks like Brett might hold back, and then Wally's even going to provide RD support. So Apex says, take the hill. And in a moment, we're going to see the beginning of that engagement. RD fires, Commodore takes damage, and the follow-up from Dodoma is going to mean that Apex is going to throw almost all their eggs in one basket, and that basket is on top of a hill.
A lot of damage going off towards both teams.
No kills yet, Rockstar. And Dodoma's going to be able to actually jump up to the hill.
Outside Impact, who died earlier.
Litif from way downtown.
Dodoma is down an ammo rack now. And a one-shot on 65 HP. Brett is also hurt.
Dodoma has a Guardian Angel or something. I just saw 2 shells not connect.
Well, I just watched Nits bounce off one off his engine compartment on the back of his tank, so...
That's hilarious.
Give me that RNG, please.
Yeah, I'll take that any day.
Meanwhile, Ox trying to get some shots from the hill in that IS-4. Andy Pants, who we already were talking about earlier, trying to get some more shots off.
And I think this one is in control for Apex. They certainly have the tempo, but with this loss of momentum right here that we're seeing.
Well, and to look at it, though, something you have to look at is look at how much module and crew member damage that Apex have sustained right now. An ammo rack down for Dodoma, who's on 65 HP. So not only does he have a bad ammo rack, but he's almost has nothing left. A bump or a sneeze would kill him as Ox takes down Commodore. And then Got Up Brett has a dead dead gunner and a dead loader. So that grill is a one shot almost, well, two shot depending on the tank that hits them. And they're both going to be ineffective, which essentially means that there's 4 guns left alive. And then another one of those is wall hacks in the artillery. So depending on how you want to look at it, maybe only 3 guns alive for Apex.
Yep, and right now Apex doesn't know a thing about where 07 is, really. They don't have any spotting. So with God Emperor Brett just now going down, nice spotting right there from 07. Apex is going to have to do a little bit of work to get back into a stronger position, I think is the way I'll put it. Their southern part of the map is somewhat exposed. Not too much, but wall hacks if an 07 player decided to move along the south well enough. Foster would actually be able to probably move in on wall hacks, I think, and possibly get a kill there. Andy Pan spotted in the south. Already safe he is not. And I'm thinking wall hacks is going to just kind of blap him in just a second here. Shot out. Misses barely. And the follow-up from the 113s might not happen, won't need to happen. Andy Pans is going to still be alive, and the TVP from Major Issues is going to be just below Ox Mathis, where, well, Apex is just still doing what they do. What is it? Ox Mathis is going to be just spotting. That's where Wallhacks is going to bring in the fire. And he's zeroing right now on target, but that is crazy to watch. Doesn't get the connection there. And then Warbender in the back is the next target. The only tank spotted right now. Shot out, 176, but just in time for Ledif to move in and take out Wallhacks himself. So now it's 3-3. 07 is down on hit points,
but you have Oxmathis and Nits alive on a majority of their HP, where you have Warbender with a damaged gun on 5, no commander on Andy Pans with 80 HP, still alive despite taking all that damage pretty much early on. And Ledif down in the south in the bat chat, the only hope left alive for Apex, or for 07, he would have to pull a miracle off here.
Hey,
give 07 at least one parting gift, maybe one extra round. This is his final moment with 07 right now.
Yep. And well, with this one,
gets a nice shot into Ox.
Not bad, not bad there. But I don't see an answer next.
Needs to get unspotted and then try to close around on the outside, maybe.
And moving right now, it's not going to work. He's spotted now. Nits knows he moved backwards. He should have known. And there.
Nice shot from Dodoma. He's going to get another one into him. Get some tracks, spins him around. And that's going to be it. Dodoma takes down Ledif.
And that's Apex showing just how dominant they are. 07 unable to compete.
And this is 07's 5th loss in a row.
They are on a really, really mean streak right now. It's not good for them. Ledif is leaving. It's going to be tough for 07. We're going to have to catch up with them later on next week to see how they're dealing with that and how they're going to be able to bounce back.
And listen to this. The remaining matches for 07.
Yeah.
Aquatic M60s.
All right.
Rival.
Okay.
Eclipse.
Yeah, so things are not bright in the future of 07.
The only silver line, or underlining, I guess you could say, that they have right now is Valence just lost. So they're still 4 points above 7th place, which means they're not in danger of losing their playoff spot. But playing like this, if they go into the playoffs, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and if for some reason they were to drop the match against 07, or against Rival, or if they can't find any place to even compete against Eclipse or Aquatic, this is gonna start looking like the end.
And we'll have to see. You know, he talked about maybe finding some spies that have fought against Apex to help them out, or are formerly from Apex, or friends thereof.
I think.
So we'll have to see what happens on Tuesday with the roster changes. Yeah. Maybe some momentum will come in there, some new blood. You know, they are losing Ledif, who has obviously been their star player at this point in the season. There's no denying that. He's
but
the top scorer in fantasy.
We've seen it before where players, after you see that star player leave, other players are able to step up and do some work. Changes the dynamic of the entire team. Maybe maybe the play style of 07 shifts up. But we shall see. Ledif in the post-battle does the most damage. Puts up some solid fantasy points. Nits in the 113, getting 86 points, that one. Not bad. And, well, that's going to do it. That's going to be post-match. This
Ox, 420 fantasy points.
Yeah.
1,200 damage on the series. Not bad there. Dodoma at 300. Brett, 2,700. Ledith, only 2,300, or 2,300, 230 fantasy points. Not bad.
Yeah, only 2,300 would be only the highest number of fantasy points anyone could ever get in a single day.
Well, we're actually going to be joined once again by Comps, who's looking rather daring today.
All right, Comps. Sir. I'll wait till you're up.
There you are. No more suit.
Wait, did you change?
Yeah.
Yeah, had to put on the Apex jersey.
Was it itchy?
No, it was just like a little too warm for my liking, so I got back into my Apex jersey.
Aren't you in Canada?
Yeah, but there's still heating in the house, so I mean, it's room temperature.
He doesn't live in an igloo, Randall.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm American. I assume sometimes. I'm sorry, Comps.
He doesn't ride polar bears to work.
Okay. Anyway, that was decisive, Comps. That was absolutely decisive. What do you have to say for your team in that match?
I mean, it was good. We couldn't ask for more than a 5-0. So, I mean, you know, in that regard, that was a good game.
All right. What about next week and the weeks coming after this? How do you guys think the Apex is going to be performing? It's, yep. How do you think you guys...
Well, I mean, we should improve. I mean, External's gone, but we picked up Vetro from Eclipse, so he's going to come in and pick up Germ's slack.
Oh, so it's confirmed then. External's completely gone. He's just too busy?
No, External's still on the roster. Drynance is actually leaving us. He stepped down and gave his spot up to Vetro. So External will still be on the team. He's just not going to be around for the next couple matches because of his Air Force duties.
All right.
But
you don't think that's going to...
So,
have you guys been practicing...
Well, I mean...
Sorry. Excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself, Comps. I'll take a step back here. How do you think Vetro coming in is going to be affecting things?
I mean, it shouldn't really affect things. It's just like, you know, it's status quo. I mean, External's good, Vetro's good, so it's just another good player filling in the slot. Vetro has practiced with us for the last, I guess, 3 days, so he's getting the hang of things. So, I mean, moving forward, it should be an easy transition for him.
So, what about Vetro stood out to you guys? I mean, obviously he's a great player, but there was I'm assuming you had options as far as getting another player. Why'd you go with Vetro?
Yeah, I mean, we had 3 options, so we looked at 3 players, and the other 2 just ended up backing out. So Vetro was the last one standing, so we had to take him. So I guess that's it.
Not a bad pickup. Thank you so much for joining us for this post-match interview, Comps. See you next time.
All right, thanks.
He'll be on every post-match interview, probably, for all of Apex's matches, as they seem not to be able to lose. So I think we should just schedule this a little bit more formally and just be like, hey, Comps, I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Yeah, sure thing.
Yep.
End of the face-off.
This becomes their, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is their 6th 5-0 on the season.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Apex for you, and that's going to be the match. So tonight, we've had a 5-0 from Dare, a 5-0 from Apex.
And we found out during that last match, Eclipse did end up beating M60s 5-2. So they walk away with that one.
Check this out. Broadcast matches had the same exact scoreline, and the off-broadcast matches had the exact same scoreline and the same little pattern.
5-3. Never mind. There you go. There's the score. It's 1 point off. I'm sorry it's not perfectly symmetrical. I know how you like your mirror matchups and everything.
The numbers were perfect.
Driving your OCD a little bit crazy there?
Little bit.
Well, speaking of your OCD, let's see how much we can screw them up as we add them to the standings right now. See how uneven this all is, because Apex are just running away with things. 32 points. Not quite double the lead over Eclipse, but they're getting there.
All right, so Apex is dominant, but that tie between Dare, Rising, and Top Tier, I'm glad we broke the 3-way tie tonight, but it's getting tougher and tougher to be Valence and Rival right now.
And let's paint this picture a little bit more because we haven't really this season. Looking at it, 1st and 2nd place get an automatic bye to the offline finals. 3rd through 6th play in online playoffs. The top 2 from that go to the regional finals. Regional finals are going to come around. We're going to crown a champion in A. those are all, each team, based upon their standings from those final 4, are going to get points. Those points are going to go totaled up with the points from last season. They're going to be scaled heavier in favor of this season, but last season will still affect it. And that's going to determine which 2 teams from North America go to the Global Grand Finals to go play against the likes of Navi, Tornado Energy, L Gaming, probably Go Hard and Kazno, but that could also change, or Ding, excuse me. So, they're going to go play against the best teams in the world. And right now, you got to be feeling good if you're Apex, especially picking up Vetro. He's a player that's played at the Global Grand Finals as of have most of Apex. So you got to think they're in a pretty good spot. But then looking at everyone else, Eclipse, all of them, they're going to be wanting for that second spot, because I don't see anything stopping Apex from taking one of those slots.
Absolutely. So I think you covered it right there. Any now that we've looked at final standings, we looked at all this, I want to remind you guys about next week. Don't forget, tune in, same time, same place, on the twitch.tv/WGL_EN. That's where you are right now.
Make sure you go.
Fantasy.
Make sure you go and check your fantasy lineup. Points will be up in a couple of hours following tonight's match. Starting Tuesday, though, you can have up to 4 players from any given roster. So if you want to stack one team in particular, you think that's a good idea, more than welcome to do so. Prizes will remain the same, weekly prizes as well as prizes on the season. Myself, Randall, everyone else in the studio, the Wargaming staff, the Gold League players community, all in there. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Jesus is sitting up there near you on the scoreline, isn't he?
He's sitting up there, I think, at around 34th. And then the other thing, speaking of Jesus, Sam, our observer, he is actually having his birthday tomorrow. So we wanted to give him a quick happy birthday shout-out. He's
Shout out.
21, so let's all wish him a happy birthday in Twitch chat. Other than that, final thoughts.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah, I'll say 2 back-to-back 5-0s. Faster than the 11 matches we watched on Thursday.
Yeah.
Pretty quick and easy night. So hopefully next week's matches will be, I guess, a little bit closer. Not that these weren't fun to watch, but watching 5-0s can only be entertaining for so long.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for showing up. We'll be back next time. This is Rockstar. I'm Rookhill. I hope you've had a wonderful night. We'll see you next time on Tuesday, same time, same place. This has been the WGLNA.
Have a good night, everybody.